Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy JUDGEMO. Listen, I haven't done a panel show in about like 7 days, actually, since last Tuesday. Believe it or not, all the last 6 days have been solo streams talking to the people. This is my no. We didn't do Friday even. Yeah, the last panel show for me was last Tuesday, actually. So big up everybody that joined us. You asked for a panel show. You know what it is. I'm not going to be objective. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. I'm just going to answer tough questions, and I'm just here for it. Listen, we're here today to talk about EZE to Manchester City. Serious things. Is he there to replace Kevin De Bruyne? Fabrizio Romano said that Kevin De Bruyne isn't going anywhere, but logically speaking, he has to be going somewhere. He has to be even signing a new contract or leaving. Otherwise, the people that run Manchester City are going to let him go on a free. So we need to talk about that with Nobbins, of course. And Arsenal wrapped up the deal for Calafiori. There is a little bit of complication, but it's going to be done. Fabrizio tweeted. And they turn now their attention to Gyokeres. So a lot of people are saying he is ready to go to Arsenal to be the starting striker to win them the Premier League, along with the red wall that happened with the signing of Calafiori. And the new thing, Jadon Sancho agreed things with PSG, or PSG are pushing for Jadon Sancho. Should Jadon Sancho go? That's why we have Griggs today, who is added to the Rational League panel. He is absolutely, Griggs is fantastic, is phenomenal, can be shameless, but also one of the very, very rational people in the Man United community. Talks well, knows his club, and actually has his feet on the ground. Sometimes shameless about some players, sometimes. But listen, we're talking about Man United closing in the gap to Arsenal and Manchester City. Are people actually scared of Manchester United? And also the very, very strange link coming from Japan of Kubo from Real Sociedad joining Liverpool. Like, In Japan, they say the deal is done, that Liverpool are actually triggering that release clause. Like, this is going to be the new winger for Liverpool. Backup for Salah, left to right. It's very strange, but we'll talk about that. And also Ederson. Ederson is going to go. We know that Ederson is going to go. We know the negotiation between 30 and 50 is going to end up being 40 million euros, and City are going to let him go. And I don't know who City are going to sign. Maybe Mike Maignan, maybe someone. Logically speaking, I'm not in the know. I'm not on ITK, but just logically speaking. So before we go on, I want everyone in the chat, as we do every day now, let me know where are you tuning in from. And if you're joining this and you're watching this on the replay, first thing you do, the target is to get 500 likes. Yesterday we got 700 likes. Day before we got almost 800 likes. So hit that like button. Let's get to 300, 400 likes, people, for this great show, The Rational League, where there's a lot of rational talk here and sometimes irrational talks. We'll see when the season starts, of course. But listen, hit that like button and let me know, where are you tuning in from? And before we go on, Benjamin here just became a member. Thank you, Benjamin, for becoming a member of Footy JUDGEMO. Appreciate your support for the channel. Get involved, people, in the chat. Send your super chats in. Interject in the conversation and let us know what you think. How's everyone doing? I haven't seen you guys for a week or something.
Yeah, good.
I was doing well, and then behind the scenes, you're like, oh, we're going to talk about this with City and that with City, and then I got a bit depressed, to be honest. So now I'm not doing
Why?
great.
It's good. You're winning the 5-peat. It's great. You got the best manager in the world. You got the best team in the world. You got 2 Ballon d'Or nominations.
Yeah, get rid of Ederson and De Bruyne, and still no news on Rodri.
It looks depressing, to be honest.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
It looks depressing. Ederson pushing or not pushing to go. Kevin De Bruyne, we don't know if he's signing a new deal or not. Is it? Okay, so let's start with this question. Not a question, not for Nobbins. For Greg's and for Rory. Are Man City turning into the unstable environment because of the Pep not renewing the contract and players entering their 30s?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a combination of Pep not signing his contract and the 115 hanging over their heads. I think there is definitely an element of players that are at the club don't want to re-sign, and they're looking at Saudi as far more of an interesting prospect. And also, are they struggling to sign new players? Because there are definitely positions that City need to go into the market and buy. And so far, at least, they're struggling. Having said that, Liverpool haven't bought anyone yet. Arsenal have only just completed one signing. So I do also think there's an element of waiting in the market as well. But it's definitely less stable than it has been for the last several years, I would say.
I'll probably say, obviously, it's a team that's won a lot. So players are eventually going to get not bored, but they're going to want a fresh change. Like you mentioned, getting into your 30s. Once you get into your 30s, you just kind of start looking at, how can I set up for life in terms of financials? They've won everything there is to be won at the club level. So players like KDB, Ederson's been there for 7-8 years now. He's won like 6 Premier Leagues as a goalkeeper. The injuries are starting to pile up just a little bit more. So why not go Saudi and get the bag over there and just chill? Kevin De Bruyne, the guy's going to retire. Once he leaves, he's going to be top 3 midfielder in the Premier League history. He's won everything there is to be won in terms of for Manchester City too. So I think you kind of see in City signings, the Savinhos, 21-year-old, Doku, 21-year-old, starting to get the younger players. Oscar Bob is still there if they don't end up selling him, and I think they should give him more playing time and not make the same mistake they made with Cole Palmer. It's about not just life after Pep, because it might just be they're getting the young signings for the next manager to have. Because the next manager, no matter what, is going to be a little bit different than Pep, because there is no Pep Guardiola in world football. They can have the same philosophy, but at the end of the day, they're going to have a little bit of a difference. So they need to go get guys that are a little bit more dynamic. So we're talking about EZE. That's another dynamic player like a Savinho and a Doku, which we don't really associate with Pep Guardiola typically. So I think it's a little bit of a mixture of replacing the older guys and getting ready ahead of the curve before it gets too late and not being able to adequately replace them, and also getting ready for life after Pep, which is going to be on the horizon soon enough, regardless if it's the 115, regardless if it's the contract extension.
Before we go on to the EZE talk and how he elevates Manchester City, how do you see the Kevin De Bruyne situation? Forget the Ederson situation is very known. The City wants 50 million euros. Saudi offered 30 million euros. He already agreed to go. So that's completely like it depends on the club's negotiation. But how do you see the Kevin De Bruyne situation though? He's been linked, not linked, linked, not linked. He mentioned it in an interview already.
He's apparently staying, which is very lovely, obviously. My prediction would be that he leaves on a free next year. At this stage, I'd love him to sign an extension. It's not. I don't know how likely that is. But yeah, the later, as you say, it's like a back and forth thing. But I think it was like confirmed by De Bruyne himself and Romano as well that this idea that he's definitely going to Saudi, it's been agreed, is a nonsense apparently, and that he allegedly is staying. He should stay. He's our best player, so I would like him to stay. Obviously, I still think he's got like another 2 or 3 years left in him at the highest level. If he is going to go next year, then so be it. But the more you can keep hold of De Bruyne, the better, in my opinion. I think bringing in Savio, a player like Savio De Bruyne, will really benefit from him. I'm doing a Savio analysis video. Stay tuned for my YouTube channel. Cheeky plug. But yeah, he's a sort of player who.
There. It's already in the description.
He will. Yeah. De Bruyne will be a massive beneficiary of Savio in respect of his off-ball movement, his runs, etc. His long space creation. So yeah, we should be doing all we can to keep hold of De Bruyne, and it would be a nonsense if we tried to get rid of him, because again, he is just.
You don't think that it doesn't make sense to let him go on a free next season, where you can get like 70, 80 million pounds for him this season?
City don't need the money though. Like we can spend like around 400 million pounds before getting into PSR issues. I think 300 to 400 million. So what's the point?
I don't think so.
Also, I don't get anything from the sale. If I got a cheeky million or two, I'd be up for it, but I don't, sadly. So I don't see what the interest would be to sell him.
To be fair, most City club legends have left on a free when they do leave Man City. I don't remember any of them really leaving for a big fee. Aguero went on a free, David Silva left on a free, Vincent Kompany left on a free, Fernandinho left on a free,
Gundogan
left on a free. So it's like they don't really care about getting monetary value for the legend. They just want to have them. Once the legend wants to go, they have no problem appeasing to their wishes. So it's really just about when the person wants to leave.
The thing is,
I don't see the people of Man City actually letting Kevin De Bruyne leave on a free.
But they haven't got much of a choice.
If he wants to stay, he wants to stay, doesn't he?
If he wants to stay 1 more year, yeah. There is nothing you can
exactly.
do. Yeah. And also, I mean, the stuff about him agreeing personal terms, I don't know. I think it came from the Mail originally. And obviously it's maybe been rubbish. But it could also be that he's just agreed personal terms for next summer. Like maybe behind closed doors, he is just like, yeah, look, I'll play out my final season. You won't have to pay a transfer fee, so you can also siphon some of that money into extra wages for me, and we'll do it next summer. So, yeah, I think it is important the City keep him because there is no replacement.
And I don't think next season there is a replacement. That's what I keep telling people. I don't think there is. You can replace a Kevin De Bruyne. The only one I see that can replace Kevin De Bruyne under Pep is Martin Odegaard. Man City aren't getting Martin Odegaard at this current moment. Not saying that they're the same level, but the only one that maybe, because there is a 7-year difference in age, right, between both players. The only one that maybe can develop to be similar to Kevin De Bruyne is Martin Odegaard, and City aren't. City have to change the way they play without Kevin De Bruyne.
Odegaard's not that sort of player though either. The way the City can replicate it is with players like Savio and by having chance creators in different areas of the pitch. I think that's how City are doing it. Sorry, that's how City have done it by bringing in a Doku, totally different threat on the left side. That's how City will be doing it with Savio, a player like Savio as well. So it might mean that City become more of there might be more focus on the wings than the centre, because again, as we know, you can't replace De Bruyne. But again, I think I did this last Pound Show to quote Moneyball, you can replace him in the aggregates by having other players do other things.
Yeah, you will need. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, Tom.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while.
I can say we missed you, but fine.
Crazy.
Ouch.
How are you doing? You okay?
I'm good. I enjoy Germany.
How's Germany, though?
very good, very good. Apart from the last Sunday we were there, can't remember what happened that day. It was irrelevant anyway. But beyond that, it was really good. But I'm back. I mean, I've not got much to talk about for my club, but I mean, to talk about everyone else's club.
We'll love to see it.
There is big news about your club. There's a couple of big news about your club. But anyway, I don't think I've followed the news lately. Yesterday,
Kubo?
evening and today. Kubo and Luis Diaz now apparently is staying. Liverpool said that they have no intention of selling the guy. Choose.
You'll have to see it.
Who loves to
That
see
face, that face is that realization that is cooked.
Because yesterday morning, the coach, but we'll talk about Liverpool in a bit. But just to summarize it to you, they said that his price is £70 million because the current market, and then later they said we're not selling the guy. He's essential on the wing,
essential.
which is. Do you know what makes a lot of sense? Because they are going to because Liverpool are going in for a right winger in Kubo. They aren't going even for a left winger. Kubo's been a right winger.
I don't want Kubo though. He's crap. He got one goal in 2024.
Yeah, but was it a good goal?
It was against Mallorca. I only know Mallorca because some old people go on holiday there. That's it. That's his 2024 repertoire. A goal against a fucking holiday destination.
Apparently, apparently the source is very reliable. They are the ones that got Indo 2 weeks before it happened to Liverpool, right? Who else? The Japanese that moved. They got Mitoma, right? It's the very reliable source in Japan that is very connected.
Oh, look at his
Kubo off the right, Diaz off the left, Darwin up top.
No, it's just no goals. It's just no goals. I watch attack miss.
Tom's just going to be crying on every single panel show if that's the front three.
Salah is in Saudi Arabia, you know?
Yeah.
Kubo right, Diaz left.
We don't even need a right winger. We need a DM. Buy a DM.
You might get a DM, but that's
Kubo can also play striker though. He plays striker for Sociedad sometimes. There you go, versatility.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to play a man who's got one goal all year up front. Woo! Yeah, get in there.
Anyway, go back to Manchester City. I'll talk about Liverpool later. Going back to Manchester City. For EZE though, how much does he elevate Manchester City's midfield? If Kevin De Bruyne stays and if Foden stays. Because Foden is going to stay, sign a new contract. Rodri is there. Do you need an EZE though?
No.
Stays.
What if everyone stays? Yeah, so if De Bruyne stays, and so who's he playing over first of all? Do you think
he's not playing over anybody? But he's been.
So how does he elevate the midfield?
Because if Foden and De Bruyne are not there, you replace one of them with EZE. That's just done deal.
It doesn't move.
And instead of replacing one of them with Matheus Nunes, with all due respect.
Yeah, well, I thought Rico Lewis, to be fair, because I do like Lewis. Eze's a good player.
Rico Lewis is better than EZE?
That's not what I'm saying. Eze is a good player, but he's not what we need at all. I think that for me that would be a waste of resources. It doesn't make sense. He's very similar. He's similar to sort of like a Grealish type player where he's comfortable on the left and also in stuff like those left central midfield areas. Sort of like a wing fielder or whatever you want to call it. I don't want him at City, to be honest with you. I like him as a player, but I don't want him at City at all. If we are actually connected with him, I don't know why. Doesn't make sense to me in terms of what the players we do have. Again, fantastic player, lovely. I don't want him though. Again, I don't see who he plays ahead of. I don't see the point of that utilization of resources. We all know what we need. We need a Gundogan replacement. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying that.
But there is none.
Bruno Guimaraes exists.
I don't think he leaves Newcastle.
I
don't think he leaves Newcastle though.
Oh, test their resolve and throw some money at Newcastle. You never know.
He's got a release clause, so
that's
have a say.
Not anymore, sadly. Although apparently Newcastle allegedly still need a decent number of sales this financial year to comply with the financial rules, etc. So that could be a thing. But yeah, someone I don't care who it is. But again, if we are looking at Eze, it seems unlikely to me. I don't know why that would be a thing.
What about the Ederson situation for Manchester City, though?
You know my thoughts on the Ederson situation, Mo.
Why would you want to leave?
Are you not a fan of Stefan Ortega starting for the future? Do you not want Stefan
Ortega? I don't understand why
one?
would you want to leave Manchester City? Because of the wages, because of the money then? Just because of the money.
I don't know. I obviously don't know him. The suspicion is that he feels underappreciated. Whether that's in wages, whether that's in terms of like fan adoration, I don't know. I will say that when I was at the Etihad and the trophy celebration happened, and they read out all the individual names of the players, Ortega did get a far bigger cheer and celebration than Ederson. I don't know if that's relevant. I would question Ederson's mentality if he's having a bit of a hissy fit because people are liking Ortega now. I don't know if that is the reason. It's a little bit disappointing. But I can't really think of what else the reason might be outside of that. We shouldn't be selling him. We should be looking to do everything we can to make him sign an extension, to be honest. I don't really get it. If Pep took Walker out to dinner, why can he please do that with Ederson and just make him stay? Because that would be a ridiculous downgrade. Whoever we get, I don't care who it is we get, it's a downgrade by definition.
Does anybody see City getting weaker next season? Ederson leaves.
We will if we sell Ederson.
Older year. Phil Foden after this tournament. Savio looks good. Looks good on paper. But I have seen people come into Manchester City for a season. Does anybody think City are getting weaker a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, no.
The manager's not getting weaker though. So
yeah, but the manager's unstable. The manager could come in February and say, "I'm gone." End of the season.
Okay, that doesn't then make him a bad manager. Pep Guardiola is the ultimate difference maker of a manager. So even if they were to lose Ederson, I do think they'd buy someone. But let's say they didn't and they stuck with Ortega and they added just a bang average sort of midfielder in as their Gundogan replacements. They've still got the exact same core and the exact same principles and the exact same setup that has won them 3 titles in a row. All they've done is they've lost the goalkeeper, and we don't know who they're going to replace him with in this world. And then, what's the other one? They've added another midfielder, and they've got a winger now, which means that they can actually fix the problem I think they had at points last season, which was being able to be direct down both wings rather than just one. When Doku was on the pitch, and because they didn't have another winger like Doku, everything got forced down that side. They became quite predictable. Now they have one on either wing. They can spread the play out again. They can stretch the pitch, and they can do what they do best, which is force opposition wide and then just attack the spaces that they leave. If anything, that one profile they've added in Savio and them adding a box-crashing central midfielder in the ilk of a Gundogan type of player probably strengthens them more than anything, because they can go back to the thing that's worked every single season of Pep Guardiola's 9 years in England, which is half-space attacking and crashing the box late. And you factor in that Haaland's still there, and who knows what's going to happen with Alvarez, but if Alvarez stays, they've got goals. I just don't see them getting weaker in that sense. They might lose a bit of distribution, a fair amount of distribution out the back directly from the goalkeeper, because Ederson is the best at that. But as a whole with the team, they're not going to be worse off.
I think it all comes down to whether or not they sign a capable Rodri backup, or at least someone that can genuinely help him in midfield. I think that was the biggest glaring problem last season when they were suffering, was when Rodri was suffering. And it's hard to imagine him doing another season of that intensity of playing every game in the way that he had to last season. So, yeah, I think that signing will be the difference.
And I'm convinced we will make that signing because it makes no sense for us to not make that signing. Everyone knows that that's what City need. Rodri's come out and said, basically, this is what I need. The club obviously they appreciate Bruno Guimaraes, so they must know that's what we need. We can spend the money. I don't buy for 1 second it's City can't spend money because of the case hanging over them. We spent like 70 million on Gvardiol, like 50 million on Doku and Kovacic and Nunes last summer, and like we've got play signing renewals. I don't think that's related at all. I'm hoping that we're just being patient and that we shall see what we see. That seems far more likely because again, City could have gone and activated Bruno Guimaraes' release clause. Apparently, according to the people who know more than I about the situation, City didn't value him at that much. So that suggests it's more of a negotiation strategy rather than we physically can't do it. Because again, the numbers say that they can do it like 3 or 4 times over. So if that happens, I'll be much more confident and I'll be happy. But yeah, if we lose Ederson, that's a downgrade. Doesn't matter who we get. Ortega's lovely. He's not a number 1 for me. His distribution's not quite good enough. Shot stopping's unbelievable, but distribution isn't good enough. And Tom's right. Ari Savio, totally different threat. Player we haven't had since Leroy Sané. In terms of like what he can bring to the table, and it'll be really exciting as well. So yeah, that's a positive as well, I suppose.
Yeah. Listen, for Manchester City, as long as they have Pep Guardiola, they'll be all right. They'll be first or second. That's all I know, to be honest.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Gummy Bear is saying just drop by to say hi. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Listen, moving on to Arsenal. Calafiori looks like it's gonna be done. Looking like you're moving into a striker. By the way, there's breaking news about Mikel Moreno that the price went up by a lot. It's 25 million pounds now, 20 million euros. Real Sociedad just said that. It's reported in a lot of places. So I think that will complicate the deal a little bit for Arsenal. But we'll talk about it we'll see what Arsenal actually start negotiating for Mikel Moreno. He doesn't want to join Atletico Madrid. But anyway, I wanted to speak a little bit about the striker situation. The reason why I wanted to speak about the striker situation is Gabriel Jesus. There is an interest from Saudi. But lately, every time I'm opening the Arsenal account on Instagram, there is Jesus' picture. And I'm not sure if that is hyping him up for a sale or actually emphasizing that he's part of the team. He is going to be, and in the friendly, I know he played the number 9 when Havertz is not there. And I have this, to be honest, I'm convinced that still Gabriel Jesus will offer something to Arsenal next season as a number 9, not as a winger. Do you think Arsenal will go next season with, they're going to bring a Gyokeres, which is reportedly he's close, or they're going to stick to Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus?
I do genuinely, and maybe it's more hope than prediction, but I do think Jesus will have a big part to play next season. He looks a lot leaner this summer than we've seen him in a long time. So if he's had the summer off and recovered properly from that knee injury, like we still saw glimpses of it even last season, even after the knee injury, of what he's capable of. So yeah, I do still think he'll have a big part to play. I mean, if he was to go to Saudi, there's no way he goes to Saudi and we replace him with a striker rather than a winger. Because if he goes to Saudi, we lose Reece Nelson. I mean, that leaves us with no wing depth at all. So yeah, I still think he'll play it all the way across the front 3 next season. I really do think he is going to be the versatile player that can step in across the front 3. I think we keep him. I'd be surprised unless Saudi come in with a crazy offer, which I don't think they will. I think we keep him. And then Gyokeres, I mean, look, I'd love it. I've been absolutely leading the Gyokeres steam train all summer in terms of wanting him even before the summer. But again, it just maybe it happens later in the window if his price comes down. But right now, I just can't see us putting our money there. Not before we've bought a midfielder, and really not before we've bought another winger. But we'll see.
It's still the priority should be a midfielder for Arsenal. Does everybody think otherwise? And I'm thinking that the priority should be a midfielder for Arsenal.
Yeah,
a defensive midfielder, yes.
I think we're going to get Marino. I do. I think. I do think we're going to get Marino.
I think that's wasting Declan Rice a bit. I think Rice is a better 8 for this Arsenal team than as a 6. I think you expose one of his weaknesses when you have him as the 6, which is he's not the greatest line breaker. So he has to give it off to someone else to do that, which can in turn ruin build up a little bit. I think Arsenal need to buy a player in order to push Rice into the 8, into that left 8 spot that I think he ended up playing there a bit when Jorginho came into the side. And I thought that was when you saw the best version of Declan Rice for Arsenal last season in terms of just being this all-action midfielder. I think if Arteta tries to gamble on Thomas Partey's fitness again, he's insane. I don't think Jorginho can give you.
It looks like he's staying. The problem is, Tom, it looks like if Thomas Partey stays the last year of the contract and Thomas Partey is fit, even for 20 games, I think him, Rice, and Odegaard will start the games, no matter who's there. Like, and I'm convinced, even if Bruno Guimaraes goes to Arsenal, Thomas Partey is fit. Thomas Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. It won't be anybody else.
The issue with Thomas Partey is I watched that man effectively waste 8 months of a season in order to be fit for the final 7 games, because that was just Arteta's, because he knew he couldn't rely on him like that. If Arsenal go into next season doing that again, they're either going to have to end up putting Rice in a position where he's not as effective in order to get away with it, or play Jorginho pretty much game in, game out, which is going to kill Jorginho, because Arsenal next season, Arsenal are going to be playing upwards of 50 games, if not more, if they go far in competitions, which they should be doing. If we're saying Thomas Partey can give you 20 games, where are the other 30 to 35 games getting covered? I don't think Jorginho can do that. I think Jorginho's a good player, but I don't think he can do week in, week out, every game at DM, because Partey won't be fit for the whole season. It's managing minutes. It'll be Thomas Partey is now unavailable for 3 months, and Jorginho's your option, and there's no one else. Enjoy.
But they're gonna buy the Declan Rice and Mikel Moreno's there. That's
but then
that's the problem. If you're having to move one of your best players out of his best position, you should just buy.
Yeah, but you're assuming that Declan Rice doesn't play a 6. I think Declan Rice plays a 6 as good as the 8, and he did it last season. Last season Declan Rice played more 6s than 8s, and Arsenal still looked all right. With Kai Havertz, by the way, and him and Odegaard were carrying Kai Havertz in that midfield, because literally Kai Havertz was playing as a second striker.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they have a proper 8. I never
said Declan Rice didn't play as the 6. I said Declan Rice is better as the 8.
I don't agree with that, by the way.
I don't think so. I still don't. He played good as the 8, but I don't think. Like, I think if they have a proper 8 on that left side, Declan Rice plays at the 6. He doesn't get tasked to do everything on the pitch. Just do the simple things. Stop the transition. Allows everyone to go forward. Allows the 2 fullbacks to go forward. And he can be the shield in front of the defense instead of him doing the whole action thing, which is he's good at it. But I think he can be an elite 6.
I do think I think in terms of Rice, but I think too much has been made of this idea that the 6 has to be able to play these elite line breaking through balls, and if they can't do that, then they're not a quality 6. Like, that is an element of some of the 6s that we've seen, but there are plenty of elite 6s that don't and haven't had to do that if you put someone alongside them that can do it. So, for example, when we had Granit Xhaka, who was capable of doing that, I think if we have Marino that's capable of doing that. But like you were saying, I think the issue is if our 4 midfielders for those 2 positions are Rice, Jorginho, Partey, and Marino, and you assume that Partey is probably not going to play 50% of the games. If Rice also needs a break, the issue comes when you have to play Jorginho and Marino, and I don't think that is a combination that works, because I don't think either of them have got the mobility to do it. So that's where I'd be slightly worried. Then you could talk about bringing Timber into midfield potentially. But yeah, I think just getting Marino wouldn't be enough. Although I would like to see him as the left 8. And I know Arsenal have also said, whilst they might like to play Rice as the 8 and bring in an elite 6, the market for elite 6s is very, very poor at the moment. So they realise they might not be able to do it.
Yeah. Not everyone, in terms of like the line breaking thing, it's not every 6 can be Rodri, and there's no shame in that, because Rodri is quite good at football. So it's no disservice to say Rice isn't as good as Rodri in that respect. But but that's why I don't buy that he can't play as a defensive midfielder in a possession-based team like Arsenal. I think I agree with Rory. He's partnering with the right player. In terms of like how Arsenal play, for me, that would be like, Timber, going from his defensive position and inverting or progressing alongside Rice. I don't know enough about Calafiori, but apparently he's potentially good at doing that as well. So that could also be a partnership there. So the way I'd see it is that Arsenal should be looking to sign someone for that left central midfield spot, basically a Xhaka replacement. I think Arsenal are in a similar position to City. We haven't replaced Gundogan. They haven't yet replaced Xhaka. I see it as being a similar sort of vibe.
That's Marino as well. Like, it helps that they look similar and they're both left-footed and stuff, but Marino is a tall, physical midfielder, really, really decent passer of the ball. I think he won more duels than
But he's
anyone.
way more technical than Granit Xhaka, though. Way more.
Yeah.
Than Granit Xhaka, like just
Yeah.
superior football player on the ball than Granit Xhaka.
I think in many ways he probably would be an upgrade on Xhaka, which is why
He wouldn't give you the defensive. Okay, so he wouldn't give you the defensive work rate that Xhaka used to give.
But you don't need that. But you don't. But Xhaka, if Xhaka had Declan Rice next to him, Xhaka wouldn't have needed to do that as much as he did anyway. So, and like I said, I think Marino won more duels than any player in Europe last season. So,
I think he's a phenomenal even for £25 million. I think it's a good deal. A lot of Arsenal people say it's a lot of money for a 29 years old. I don't know what happened to football. 28 years old back in the days used to be going for a lot of money because that is the prime. Everyone now is turning into the accountant about the resale value. Oh, he doesn't have a resale. What are we going to do when his contract ends? Just contract ends? Just give him 1 year until he's done. Just win the league. If you get Mikel Moreno for £25 million and you win the league a couple of times in the next 4 years in his contract, and he goes on a free, he paid his dues. What? It's all right.
Yeah.
Man City let a lot of people leave on a free, as you guys said in the beginning of the show, but they won 7 league titles or 6. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Accountants now. But listen, £25 million is nothing for Arsenal, in my opinion. Since yesterday, I'm still pushing the Rabiot free signing for Arsenal as a guy.
Never.
I don't know why, but
why is everyone pushing?
Yeah,
the reason no one signed Rabiot.
I think for Arsenal it's very important. Actually, I think for Arsenal it's very important.
Arteta would never sign Rabiot.
The whole thing Arsenal have been doing is trying to build a good team and a good collective
culture.
Group. Rabiot, for all intents and purposes, I don't think I've ever seen a story about Rabiot being a really good team player. The story I remember is his mum's apparently a horrible person to sit in the crowd alongside because she just slags everyone else off. It's not really ideal for a harmonious team group, is it? Plus, he's 28 and he's just left on a free, and there's not a exactly long line of people trying to get him. He was apparently
there's a lot of people that try. Fabrizio said he has a lot of teams. He's just waiting for a top Premier League to negotiate with him. That's what Fabrizio said. He already has offers on the table.
But you've just said it there. He has offers on the table, but none of them are a top side. So that tells you.
He's waiting for. He's waiting for one of the 3 teams, right? It's one of 3 teams that is going to come for him: Spurs, Arsenal, and Man United. That's it.
Spurs. Fuck.
We already distanced ourselves from them.
United aren't going to go for Rabiot.
I actually think Rabiot is still going to end up at one of Man United or Arsenal. Actually, think so. Because as a free transfers, especially with Jorginho and Partey not having an extension next season, Arsenal will need that 30 years old to be there for free. That is not going to cost them a penny. Why not? I don't see what's the harm. With Jorginho, and instead of you next season, when Jorginho and Thomas Partey leave, instead of you signing 2 midfielders, if you have Rabiot tied in for a contract for 3 years, by the way, Rabiot can earn the same money or a little bit more than Lenioro for Manchester United. The guy just rejected 8 million euros from Juventus. Fabrizio said 10 million euros will get the guy. That's 8 million pounds. That's about like 170k a week or something.
That's quite
3
a lot.
years on a free for a 29 years old. I don't think that's
Yeah,
a
but
lot. I think
that would make him one of the more highly paid players at Arsenal, and he's culturally, which Arteta is a massive, like he is all about culture. I just don't think Rabiot would work. And Jorginho's actually, I didn't even realize this. Jorginho has a year and an option for another year, so we might not lose him next summer. And yeah, I just don't see it happening.
Rabiot have way more legs than Jorginho, to be honest, to play in that midfield for
Yeah,
a
but
high
then if-
pressing team like Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't see it happening. personally.
I like Rabiot. I wish my team would sign Rabiot on a free next season. He just doesn't want to stay in Italy anymore. He said, I tried that, been there, done that. He wants to go to the Premier League. I don't know what is going to happen, but I think as an option on a free, I think Rabiot adds to your squad. Culturally, though, I agree with you, Rory. He's going to disrupt the dressing room.
Spurs,
I
I
agree
could
with you.
understand. Spurs, I could understand, but then that doesn't tie in with him waiting for a top club. So I don't know.
Maybe. But the Mikel Moreno thing, is that enough, though, for Arsenal?
No,
You
I still
guys
think
think
we need one more.
that's it for Arsenal, or do they need another midfielder, especially if Smith Rowe's going?
Smith Rowe, fucking hell. They didn't use Smith Rowe last year. They're not
Yeah, but
exactly
you need the
used any if he
numbers, though.
doesn't go.
Remember, Arsenal play 50 games, Tom. They have
Mhm.
basically, if you're asking me at the current moment for Arsenal, they basically have 2 midfielders only that they can rely on. Declan Rice
Yep.
and Odegaard. You
Mhm.
said Thomas Partey literally can play one game in the beginning of the season, just get injured, which we've
Mhm.
seen this happen before. Jorginho, I think Jorginho is done at a top level, right? I think he's done. I think he can be someone who coming off the bench, maybe fill in for a cup game, an easy game in the Champions League, something like this. But that's it. That's it. That's
I
Arsenal.
mean, they've got Fabio Vieira as well.
That guy doesn't exist. That's for real.
They spent 40 mil on him. He's got to exist. They spent 40 mil on him. He's got to
He
exist.
really might not.
Do we
Why
think he's
not?
in the plans
I think.
for Arsenal? Oh no.
I'd
Well-
assume Fabio
well,
Vieira's in the plans.
Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe, in my opinion, take up the same place in the squad. So you don't keep both
And they
of
both
them.
make one player, by the way. Like I think both make one player in Arteta's head.
Yeah.
I don't think you can count both as 2 players.
Well, that's the thing. I think we sell Smith, like we have to sell one of them, and we're selling Smith Rowe by the seems of things. So I think Vieira
Yeah.
stays. And then I think we need one more midfielder, but the market isn't ideal for it at the moment. So I think we'll also see.
It's the money.
I mean, Ethan Nwaneri is going to come through pretty quickly, I think. So
I also have a
Will
feeling.
he though? Because will Arteta play youth? Because the guy is really anti-youth by the looks of it. Because
He's not- I disagree. I don't think he's anti-youth. I think there has like people that just like to hate Arteta for whatever reason have jumped on that as the thing that he's not good enough at. But realistically, like we've not had any youth players that have gone on from Arsenal in the last 4 years and really done anything. It's just that.
Amari Hutchinson's been all right.
But Amari Hutchinson wouldn't get near the Arsenal squad at the moment. I think this.
Who's this guy? No, Mary. Who's this guy?
Nwaneri.
He's the one that
Who's
Arteta
this?
debuted when he was like 15. Like he
Yeah,
was the youngest
he-
ever.
So Arsenal want to
He's
go
cold.
battle Manchester City and go deeper
He's
in
cold.
the Champions League, and you want to rely. So I think Arsenal. This is my opinion, though. I think Arsenal aren't in a place to do that. When Manchester City had a back-to-back league titles, right? They were going for a triple, right? And they had Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden. They were able to integrate the Rico Lewis sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's Pep Guardiola. It's an established team that won a lot of trophies. And yes, he kind of like did this last season. They're coming in from a triple. Yeah, Oscar Bob here and there, you can do it. And even Oscar Bob is not 17 years old. I think Oscar Bob is like 20 years old or something like this. For Arsenal next season to put to put even one of the squad to be a 17 years old that I have never heard of. Like, yes, I watched his debut. He looks good, right? To battle Manchester City and go deeper in the Champions League, I think that's too much risk.
To be
Well,
fair,
I don't think-
He should be nowhere near the first team at the current moment.
To be fair, there's a high
What?
chance he's the
What?
best 17-year-old in the country. He is like one of them. Him and Lewis Skelly.
If he was the best 17 years in the country, he would have played last season.
Not really.
because they struggled last season sometimes to find midfielders when Jorginho was
Wouldn't he have been
playing.
16 last season? So he wouldn't have been the best 17-year-old last season.
He would have been the best
Exactly.
16 years old in the country.
That's not what Greg said. He said
Lamine
16-year-old.
Yamal played when he
See,
was
now
16 years
now-
old.
now-
Nalvin's my lawyer.
If he's okay, so
uh.
is he Lamine Yamal's level at 16 years old?
Yeah, I've seen him out.
I don't know. By the way, I am here speaking out of ignorance, guys. By the way, I am not here saying that I've watched the guy. I do not subscribe to Arsenal Football Club TV channel, so I don't watch Arsenal youth team play.
No, I don't think anyone's asking him to play like in Champions League quarterfinal game, but like for example, Carabao Cup game, he should be playing for me, and him and Lewis Kelly should be playing. They should be automatic starters in that 11, and maybe depend on Fabio Rivera. I don't know. The last time I saw that guy was him missing a penalty in the preseason game I went to live in New York. I'm not gonna lie, that's the last time I saw that guy. Other than that, I haven't seen him exist.
I also don't see the
Are
problem
Arsenal
with
in
having
a place
one or
to
two
rely
youngsters
on
in
this
the squad.
guy to be one of the people in the
No,
squad?
but Mo, who said rely on? Who said rely on? He can be
I'm
a
going to
member
tell you who
of
said
the
rely.
squad.
Rory said that. Rory said that. When I said, is that enough, Mikel Moreno? Rory's response is that, but we have a 17-year-old coming through.
No, you started listing midfielders and then talking about, and my point really was that when players like an Ødegaard need to rest in a Carabao Cup game or an FA Cup game or a really low-level Premier League game, he is probably capable of starting. And so
if the system is good enough, which Arteta's system is obviously good enough,
is he as good as Kobe Meno in the midfield?
I mean,
I've
Kobe
seen
Meno
Kobe
was
Meno.
like,
Kobe Meno was
I've heard
18
like
last
three-
season.
I'm not gonna lie. From what I've heard from the people I trust when they watch Academy football, I've heard he's just as good a talent as Kobe Manu. So I'm not gonna.
I think,
Bro,
I think people underestimating how hard is it to beat Pep Guardiola, and one game, 1 point, one player on the pitch might be the difference for you at the end of the season. That's my point.
Even in this case, Nwaneri is third choice for that position. It would take both Ødegaard and either Fabio Vieira or Smith Rowe, whoever it is that stays, being unavailable for him to have the chance to start the game.
Oh, okay. So Emil Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira are second choice. Okay.
Well,
Well,
you
they're
just
second
said
choice
one
in
of
the same spot.
I still stand by what I said. By the way, I still stand by what I said, Tom. It's not enough.
It might
I
not
do
be.
him.
I
actually think okay, if Ødegaard gets injured and there's Fabio Vieira coming in on the right side, I don't think that's enough.
Well, obviously not.
That's it. That's why you need another midfielder. If
Well,
you're going to sell him Smith or Fabio Vieira.
But every club has players that you go if they're out injured.
Hold on. Now Mo is suggesting that Arsenal needs to buy an entirely new midfield three because you need a
two
left centre
midfielders.
mid. You need
Two midfielders.
so what position don't they need? Let's say they get Marino, that's left centre mid. You're saying they then need another guy to play the back.
Arsenal needs 4 players, Tom, in my opinion. Arsenal needs 4 players. Defender, 2 midfielders, and a forward player. Wherever they're gonna get it.
Right, okay. So
that's my point this window.
I
think this window.
Just so I can follow
and
along.
just to replace, hold on, just to replace to finish and then you can come in. To replace Kivior, who's gonna go. To replace one of Smith or Fabio Vieira, who's gonna go, okay? And Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson. So the 4 go, 4 come in, but the difference is higher quality. That's my point.
Right. So we saw last season. I mean, Rory probably has the numbers better than I do. I know Fabio Vieira only played 200 minutes last season.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Smith Rowe played even less.
Bit more, but
Or slightly more then.
yeah.
But that's about 500 minutes collectively. Why would I need to replace 300 minutes when I can just give them to an academy kid? Or hope that the fella who only played 200 minutes now can do more than 200 minutes and give me, let's say he gives me 500, 600, 700 minutes. I then only need my youth academy kid to play 100 minutes. And it's better for your youth academy kids to stay and train with the better players than to go out on a loan. I don't see why Arsenal should then spend another 20 to 30 million on buying a player who is replacing 200 minutes of football. It doesn't make sense when you can just give that to an academy kid who, for all intents and purposes, could, given the opportunity, develop into that player that you were just about to spend fucking 30 million quid on. So you save yourself 30 million quid, which you can then put on a position that is of a bigger need. It's not like we're saying Nwaneri has to come in and start every game for Arsenal. Far from it. But he can 100% be an option in that squad that can be turned.
I never said he cannot be the option. I cannot.
So then they don't need to buy one to replace him.
In my opinion, Arsenal needs 7 first-team midfielders next season. 7. 7
Jorginho.
I'm counting. Okay. Jorginho, go ahead.
Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Vieira, Marino, and Nwaneri.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and you. That 7th guy for me shouldn't be Nwaneri. Should be another midfielder, and then Nwaneri can be the 8th.
But that would mean that 7th midfielder wasn't even getting in a matchday squad if everyone was fit.
How many
spend
first choice
25 million
midfielders
on it.
Hold on.
Seems a lot.
You're assuming that that's the point. If everyone is fit, you don't need anyone. Rice, Odegaard, Partey, Mikel Moreno, and Jorginho. You're good to go. But that doesn't happen often. You have Thomas Partey,
but no one's in that position. But no one's ever in that position where you can have excess senior players that aren't even in a matchday squad if everyone's fit. That's like if it's the equivalent of saying, well, if Rodri gets injured, who have City got to replace him?
Because I don't. For me, Fabio Vieira should be your 7th guy.
How can you justify to Fabio Vieira, who cost 40 million quid, that you aren't making?
By the way, Tom,
squads?
I think you're missing my point. I don't need justification. I am talking from ideal situation for Arsenal going into next season. You are trying to find solutions. That is the difference. For example, Manchester City have Rodri, Matheus Nunes, Kovacic, right? Rodri, Matheus Nunes, Kovacic, right? Calvin Phillips still there. Let's go. He's gonna leave. They have Foden. They have
I only
Kevin De
count
Bruyne.
6.
They have Rico Lewis. Yeah, they have 6, right? They want to get another guy, a first teamer, a 7th midfielder, because they still lack the replacement for Gundogan. That's plus the guys they have.
Yeah, but like Rico Lewis, for example,
who is a fullback.
No. Okay, so Rico Lewis has been established for Manchester City as a midfielder. Pep said that.
But okay, fair,
Am I wrong, Nobbins?
fine. But then I can do the same thing and say, well, Havertz can play in midfield, Yuri and Timber can play in midfield, and suddenly we've got 8 or 9 midfielders.
Zinchenko.
If Havertz is going to be your, if you're going to bring in as a striker, and you can count Havertz as a midfielder, that's fine with me. Fine, that's your 7th midfielder. Fine, you're going to play 50 games.
There is a problem, Mo, in the sense of the way you run is the way you're saying that Arsenal should be run effectively just fucks off the academy, because there's never going to be a pathway through, because we need to buy a player to fill that 7th spot, which is typically the academy spot. And B, there is no justifying for these rotation pieces being 7th choice. Yuri and Timber cost Arsenal 40 million quid. He's going to play probably backup left back, backup DM, and maybe backup centre back if it comes down to it. He's going to get his game.
Had he ever? I don't know if
Julian
Timber's played.
I'm like, yes, Julian Timber
played DM. I don't know. I think
for Ajax, they used to play him as a centre back, but then he'd move up into midfield, a bit like.
So he's moving from a centre back to like an Akanji kind of role somehow.
Yeah. Like a Rico Lewis. In the sense of he starts in the defense and moves into the middle.
All right, then. If you guys
I
think
don't see the room
it's
for it
fine.
in the
I
Arsenal
still
stuff.
think that this notion of relying on an academy player, I'm not about this life, to be honest.
If we
because
look at
I never rate academy footballers. If I never rate academy players unless they get integrated in a team.
How many injuries would have to happen for them to rely on him?
Look at the squad. Look at the squads in England that have been successful.
Not
recently.
three, but that's two injuries happen, and now you're talking about the rotation. The 8 games in the Champions League now, the cup games. So unless you're gonna stick with the starting 11, because that you end up with 5 midfielders only.
But okay, so you're saying
5 by the way, 5 midfielders including him. By the way, Nobbins. So that means you have 4 midfielders and him.
No, because Mo, you're specifically saying both Odegaard and Fabio Vieira would both have to simultaneously be injured for you to rely on him, and that you should then therefore go and buy another player just in case that happens. That's like saying that you should have 3 right wingers, 3 left wingers, 3 strikers. Like, you can't have 3 of every single position in a squad.
I'm not about that. To be honest with you, I'm not about the academy players at all. At the 17 years old, unless you're
if
a
City-
Lamine
Look
But
at
no, if
every
City-
team that's
Lamine
been
Yamal.
successful. Look at every team that has been successful in England in recent
Yes, go
years.
ahead.
City. How many academy graduates have you seen play for them?
Foden,
Bob,
Rico Lewis,
Palmer, Rico
Palmer.
Lewis.
All these players
Huh?
who've come through the
Cole
academy.
Palmer.
Cole
Cole
Palmer
Palmer scored. Cole Palmer won them a community shield. Won them what's it called? A club world, not the club, the Super
Super
Cup.
Cup.
last
Super
season.
Cup, the
Okay.
UEFA
He
Super
won the
Cup,
Super Cup last
and
season.
scored in the Community Shield as well, and then went on to
Maybe
Chelsea
I
and
just
had
look
one
at
of the
it
best
different.
seasons.
Maybe I just
I
look
think
at it different.
for me,
I
the-
actually think. Go ahead.
I was saying the main issue I think is that of the midfielders you've listed midfielders who are midfielders. Whereas when you can try to compare that to City, there are many names there who can play a number of different positions. Like Bernardo Silva, for example, he's officially a midfielder, but he's also going to get loads of minutes out on the right. So that's why I don't think the comparison is quite correct.
So you think so? Okay. So let's from this conversation from 4 of you guys think that Arsenal sell Smith Rowe and get Mikel Moreno and they are set to go for the season?
Well, I haven't necessarily.
I'm asking. By the way, listen, people in the chat think that I'm being deluded and I'm like, oh my God, Mo, you don't need an academy player. You don't like academy players. That's fine. I want to get a straight answer. First of all, I'm going to start with the Arsenal fan, right? And people in the chat, we almost have like 650 people here. I want a yes or no. Is Mikel Moreno by himself, assuming that Arsenal will sell Smith Rowe, is enough? Just say yes or no.
No, which is what I've said from the very start.
But I'm deluded. Go ahead. Anybody else?
Wait, in terms of what? Just the
For
midfield
the
or the whole squad?
midfield or the
Anyone
squad as a whole?
else?
No, for the
Anyone
midfield or the squad as a whole?
Most deluded, but everyone's answering a no.
For the midfield or the squad as a whole?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the midfield. This is it.
Yes, that's
okay.
fine for the
I'm-
midfield.
okay,
For
hold
me,
on,
that-
Rory.
for me, that's
Let me
fine.
rephrase the question, Rory. Arsenal selling Mikel Moreno. Arsenal selling Emil Smith Rowe. In the midfield, is Mikel Moreno coming in enough for you in the midfield only?
No, but it has
It's
nothing to do
simple.
with Smith Rowe. It has nothing to do with Smith Rowe and everything to do with Thomas Partey. Because I would have sold Thomas Partey this window and brought in an elite midfielder to partner Declan Rice. That is always what I've said we needed.
So I think Roy wants a Marino and then another top 6/8 kind of player.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, guys, I'm laughing at
exactly
something
that.
completely different.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
laughing
yeah.
at something completely different.
In respect to
it-
numbers, it's certainly enough.
it-
Yeah.
The
Arteta-
50,000,
Arteta
here we
wants
go
to
this
continue.
summer for Chelsea, guys. The number 10, here we go for Chelsea this summer from Fabrizio Romano. Officially, the US-born left back, Willie, another yo-yo, go, yele, Willie player joined Chelsea. Another guy that we never heard of joined Chelsea official. And then again, the PR is crazy for Chelsea. It is absolutely crazy. But he's going to join Strasbourg on loan right away. But it's another signing for City. Amazing. Well, yes. Sure. This is turning into... Anyway, going back to Arsenal. So the Arsenal don't need... Okay, so I'm talking about the situation as it is. There is rumor, Rory, that Thomas Partey... And guys, before we do go on, we almost have 700 people here. And this is absolutely like trash. Because yesterday, we had 700 people and we literally reached 500 likes live. Get the likes up to 500. It helps the show significantly. That the like button is underneath your live chat. You think I'm deluded? You think who's deluded? Doesn't matter. Just hit the like button because it helps the show massively. So the situation is, as it stands, is like this for Arsenal. Thomas Partey is more likely to stay the last year of his contract, right? This is the situation. So Arsenal are looking to sell Emil Smith Rowe and buy Mikel Moreno, right? And if that happens and Partey stays, is that enough midfielders? Or is that enough for the midfield for Arsenal to go into next season?
Yes, but it's a gamble because you're gambling on Thomas Partey's fitness, which I don't want to
That's
do.
exactly what I'm saying. Thank you.
No, because you keep talking about Erdegaard, Fabio
That is
Vieira,
not
Smith
what
Rowe,
you
which
said
is
at
not
all.
the
That
same.
is what you were saying. I think that Rory's point is that in theory, the bodies are enough in terms of quantity, but in terms of reliability, they aren't. I think your point, Mo, is that in terms of you weren't even considering reliability. I think you were purely focusing on the quantity. I don't think that's what Rory's saying.
No. I literally said because Thomas Partey, you rely on Thomas Partey next season. It's a massive gamble. So that's why Arsenal need to be on the safe side and have another midfielder. That midfielder can be an attacking midfielder, a DM, another left mid. Doesn't matter for me. That's why I said with Thomas Partey, if they sell Thomas Partey tomorrow, okay, let's say if they sell Thomas Partey tomorrow, okay, and they sell Emil Smith-Rowe and they get Mikel Moreno, if they get a Bruno Guimaraes, for example, as a reliable DM, that's it. Because Bruno Guimaraes doesn't have the history of Thomas Partey's injury history. I thought that made a lot of sense when I said that because of Thomas Partey and his injury record, they cannot rely on him in terms of the number. They need to assume that Thomas Partey most likely or might get injured, and they can't rely on him. That is what I said.
Throughout that whole
that's why I
argument, you
counted
didn't
the
mention
numbers.
Thomas Partey.
Yeah, I just don't think you mentioned Partey.
I never mentioned the name. I said the names are, but I counted Thomas Partey as one of them. I thought that it's very understandable, and that's why when Nobbins asked how many injuries do people have, I said 2 injuries, including Thomas Partey, which has a big injury record. So basically,
So 3 injuries then?
No, just 1 injury because after that, okay, Tom, you're assuming that Arsenal will play every single game with the same midfield. This is crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you look at their options and you look at how teams play, Arsenal have currently Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Vieira. I'm not going to include Smith-Rowe because I'm assuming he's going to go. Vieira, Nwaneri. We're assuming they're going to sign Mikel Merino. That makes it 7. If it comes down to it, Yuri and Timber can play in midfield, and Kai Havertz can play in midfield. That becomes 9. They have 9 options who can come in.
You can even say Trossard if you wanted.
Now this Julian Timber and Kai Havertz being in the midfield, I never accounted for this in the beginning, to be honest with you. Never. All I did is that I said, Thomas Partey is injured. They start Declan Rice, Mikel Moreno, Odegaard 1 game. They have a game Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday. Okay? In the next game, who starts? Is it the same midfield or they're gonna rotate?
No, some players will be rotated.
Okay.
So you're saying Rice, Merino, Odegaard 1 game, then it would be Jorginho,
Fabio Vieira, and someone give me a name.
Let's be real. Declan Rice is going to be in that midfield about 95% of the season anyway, unless he gets.
Why would you rotate them all? You wouldn't rotate. You'd plan ahead. You wouldn't rotate them all for the same game.
100%.
Right, we're going to have this midfield 3 here.
100%. But next season there is more games in the Champions League.
Yes, but you don't need to.
And
play
there's one more thing, Rory. You know the season starts a week later.
Yes, but they're not going to. No, I know. I've made this point. Other than international breaks, Arsenal are going to play twice a week for 4 months straight from September through January.
Which is a massive problem.
But you don't rotate by going this midfield 3 this game and this midfield 3 the next game, and you rest everyone for half of the season between them. It'll be Rice, Odegaard, Merino, and then Rice, Odegaard, Jorginho, and then Jorginho, Merino, Odegaard, and then Rice, Fabio Vieira, Merino.
Yeah, I get that. I actually think that Arsenal, to be honest with you, this is my last point. If Rice gets injured and Arsenal start Rice, Moreno, and Odegaard, I actually think that Arsenal need another quality midfielder on the bench. And it shouldn't be Jorginho or Fabio Vieira.
But then
that's another problem.
But again,
you're gambling. Then you're gambling, aren't you?
But you have to you can't go into a season and go, well, if Partey and Rice are both out injured, then we need to make sure we've got another player. No club can do that. In the same way that Man City can't.
Every club gambles.
Yeah, Man City can't go. Well,
my point, Thomas Partey should be sold.
Well, yeah, I agree. I said it should be sold, and we should bring in.
And you should get another guy that is quality. My point is, to be honest with you, if I'm playing, if Arsenal tomorrow are playing a game, and I'm being frankly honest here, Thomas Partey, let's assume he gets injured, right? Let's assume, hopefully not, because I believe that Thomas Partey, Rice, Odegaard is very competitive, right? Let's assume Arsenal are playing a game tomorrow, and they have Declan Rice, Moreno, and Odegaard, and on the bench Fabio Vieira and Jorginho. That's not scaring anyone. There is no winning card on the bench. Manchester City, with all due respect, if they play Rodri, right? Who, Kovacic, KDB or Foden, whatever, whoever plays, they still have Matheus Nunes, which I think is not bad. And also, Manchester City are looking to buy a quality midfielder to add to this.
No way.
How?
I'm sorry, you can't go off. You can't go Fabio Vieira doesn't scare anyone. Then for Man City, pull out Matheus Nunes. He doesn't scare anyone either.
You're comparing Fabio Vieira to Matheus Nunes as a player.
I'm saying they're bullshit.
Are you serious?
That's what I'm saying. They're bullshit.
Okay, Matheus Nunes didn't have the greatest first season, but we know that the second season for him, if Man City keep him, because we have seen the quality of Matheus Nunes in the Premier League.
But
I don't think he was good at Wolves.
Oh my God.
Mo,
Absolutely. Oh my God.
No, at the end of last season, we won 16 out of 18 Premier League games with Jorginho or Fabio Vieira on the bench. At times, we had El Neni on the bench. So what's if we add Marino, then that's just
if you think
what we
so.
had last season.
If I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way, having that bench, Jorginho and Fabio Vieira, to be bench for Odegaard, Rice, and Moreno, I don't think that's enough. I don't think so. I think for the league, I would demand my club to get another quality midfielder to replace one of them, in my opinion, unless Partey stays fit. Are you serious?
I don't know. We won 16 out of 18 games with those exact players. Okay. So I don't think it's I don't think it's a lack of being scary to the opposition.
But you didn't have. Did you need to use them though?
Yeah, Jorginho played loads last season.
As a DM, okay. I still think if you didn't have Jorginho last season, you wouldn't have lost that Spurs game and you would have won the league, though.
But again, within that, we're taking.
I hope that people in the chat got my point here, right? I hope that people understood my point. That if I'm looking at Arsenal, I need a winning card in that midfield. I need someone, at least I don't consider Jorginho, especially in this season, and Fabio Vieira as adequate substitutions for a Premier League winning team. I just don't consider them.
But you look at Man City and see Kovacic as that.
Much better than both, in my opinion.
But only because he's won it. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
Because he's a better football player for me.
Maybe marginally.
Maybe that's a subjective opinion in my opinion. Okay, that's a very subjective opinion. But that's what I think.
But also,
I would ask the club to sign another midfielder.
But within this, you've just not factored in that if Partey's not there, then we all agree, once we move on from Partey, we need an elite midfielder to go with Rice.
Yeah, but that's why the Partey thing is a risk. That's why I would ask.
It is a risk.
And because Partey, here is the thing. And because Partey is already, if Partey stays, okay, here is the situation, right? If Partey stays, he's running down his contract. So you will need a midfielder anyway, right? I will get the midfielder this season.
Yeah, we're trying to look at the market. Everyone is having the same issue.
Is EZE?
EZE's not a Partey replacement.
I'm not saying he's a Partey replacement. He's a midfielder. Declan Rice can play the 6. Jorginho can play the 6.
But that leaves us with
Moreno is the 8.
But right, okay, but
so then they've got
logic,
1 8.
Immediately, by your own logic, you'd immediately then be saying Declan Rice is your only 6. Otherwise, if Rice gets injured, you've only got
right.
Jorginho.
You need a 6. There is not a lot of 6. There is Onana as a 6. You didn't get Onana as a 6.
Welcome to the exact point we've been trying to make. Arsenal want an elite 6, but there aren't really any out there. João Neves is going to go for about 100 million euros, and that's one of the only options. And so Arsenal are pivoting to trying to get an 8 instead, because that market's a little bit better.
And that's the whole point. Rice to be the main 6.
He is the main 6.
Oh, I see it. Well, the difference is for me, if you get an EZE and you have if you have a Declan Rice starting as a 6, Declan Rice doesn't drop stinkers. He can play. You get EZE on the 8. Him and Mikel Moreno and Odegaard can be a very adequate 8s, in my opinion. That's my point about it. Anyway, it's I think this EZE situation for Arsenal makes a lot of sense. Him and Moreno in the midfield will add a lot on that midfield, in my opinion. And I wanted Arsenal to go for him.
I would love
an EZE to go to Arsenal, to be honest. Listen, going to money. We spent a lot of time arguing, to be honest. Listen, I want to go to Manchester United a little bit. Oh, no. Let's go to Liverpool. So let's make Tom miserable.
This will be quick. 5 minutes. This will be a quick 5 minutes.
5 minute rant on Liverpool. Guys, and before we go on, we
Oh.
have 700 people here, and we aren't on 400 likes. Can we get the likes up,
Outrageous.
people, if you are here, guys? And also one more thing, Nobit's channel in the description. He's dropping a video soon on Savio's analysis. You have to look
It's
out
going
for
to be very
this,
good, I promise.
right? The fraudulent transfer, Savio from City to City, the cheapest winger in the history. And Rory's channel in the description. 6:30 UK time. He's gonna be live for sure. Tom Little now is doing some videos on his channel. Go check it out. And Griggs finally got to 1K. Griggs is promised me to do daily shows. He's gonna do daily shows.
Actually, I'm
Michael
going live
Griggs'
at 12
channel.
today. Well, it's 5 p.m. UK time, right? Yeah, it's a 12. Yeah.
To
I'm
12
going live
your,
then.
no, 5 p.m. UK time.
Yeah. Talk
I
about
can
all these
redirect to
transfers.
you actually. Can redirect if you make your show a little bit earlier, we can redirect to you. If no one, anybody going live? Anybody else going live?
I'm going to go work on my video.
I
Until 6 p.m.
I have some stuff to do after this, like an hour, and then I'm gonna go live. That's what. But yeah, a lot of news to talk
Like
about. but we'll get
before
that-
Mo
we'll get to that later.
explodes. Why would I explode, bro? I'm not gonna explode. I'm fine.
Wait till I talk. Wait, Mo
I
gets
just-
mad at
I
Arsenal
just want
Academy.
the
Wait till I
best
talk
for
about my
Arsenal
academy.
Football Club. I want the best for Arsenal to be able to beat Manchester City. To be honest, that's what I want.
Same.
We cannot watch another team win it 5 in a row. That would ruin
Yes,
the
we
freaking
can.
league.
Yes, we can.
Like, a lot,
I
if it
don't
means
want
Pep
to.
Guardiola,
I
if
don't
Pep
want
leaves,
to
if
know,
it means
man. I
Pep
don't
leaves
want
after the season,
A
I would definitely
nightmare.
watch it.
It's a freaking nightmare, bro. If I'm watching City lifting the trophy again, I think it's a
Yeah.
nightmare. To be
Let's make it
honest.
happen, guys.
Listen, Liverpool though, Luis Diaz staying. By the way, Nouri. From what I heard, Nouri is not going to Liverpool because Tsimikas doesn't want to go.
I put the word into my fellow Greek. Don't worry. I
No,
told
he
him
doesn't want to
you have
go.
to
He's
stay in
asking
Liverpool.
there.
I told him you have to stay in Liverpool.
Tom, how do you see that the Liverpool season going? To be honest,
I'm just going to pop on my blue tinted glasses whilst Tom descends into madness. I'm going
I
to
love
enjoy
these
this.
glasses. They look
I'm
so
actually-
good.
Proceed.
I might surprise you. I'm not arsed that we haven't done transfer business yet. I understand why we haven't, and I'm calm about it. Slot needs to see all the players first. I think this tour that we've got to America, where we're going to, I think we play Arsenal and United in it. That's going to be where we figure out exactly what we need. Am I the biggest fan of it? No, because you're leaving a lot of business late. But there has been 2 major international tournaments on this summer, and because a lot of our players end up going pretty far on it, it has kind of fucked us up in terms of when Slot's going to get to see half the players. So I don't expect much business done this window. To be honest, I think that there is a position which needs addressing, guaranteed, which is defensive midfielder. The rest, I would ideally like a better left back, but I know that's not going to happen unless fucking Tsimikas leaves, and he's not going to do that. I would ideally like a better left winger, but that's not going to happen unless Luis Diaz leaves. And it doesn't look like he's going to leave because Barca get Nico Williams. We don't need a right winger. We don't. We've got Salah and Elliott. I don't need another right winger. So I think it'll be a bit of a quieter summer. I think our business is going to be very much conducted on the basis of who replacing those that leave type thing. However many leave, that's a different kettle of fish. I think that next summer will be the one where you see the big transfer. To be honest, I'm still gutted that we didn't get Anthony Gordon, to be honest. I actually really want Anthony Gordon now. I think he's exactly who I'd replace Luis Diaz with, because he's an actual winger with good output and turns up and scores in big games, something my Colombian doesn't do. My Colombian runs down line, crosses into defender, gets angry, and everyone praises him for it. But I think that there's a bit of an overreaction in the fan base in terms of, I've seen people saying that we're not going to make top 4 this year. We were quite comfortably in the top 4 last season. We were in a title race for most of the season. This squad has not gotten that much. You could argue the squad isn't getting worse. It stayed the same. We haven't lost anyone. Thiago played fucking 5 minutes. Ooh. No, what
5 minutes they were.
How will I ever replace those 5 minutes against Arsenal where we fucking conceded while he was on the pitch?
That one quick turn though was crazy.
Oh, that Cruyff turned into a pass which just went straight to fucking Martinelli. Oh my god, it was so good. But yeah, I'm calm for now. If we get to the end of the window and we still haven't signed a DM, then there's a major fucking concern because I like Bajcetic. Bajcetic isn't ready. Endo is not a guy who I can trust to play 50 games a season. It's just not going to work. Endo has problems. So I'm calm for now. There are positions that need to be improved. I just don't want... I don't see the point in signing a Kubo, especially for the price they're after. I would have preferred for us to get an Anthony Gordon, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll get him next summer. I would have liked for us to sign a left back, but a certain ponytailed defender who doesn't know how to defend won't leave. So that's fucked us up. And, you know, maybe we get a centre back, but I don't think we'd spend big on the centre back. I think we'd end up getting a youngster or like a 20, 21-year-old from somewhere who can just
I have a
rotate.
DM option for you, by the way. I have an offer. I have an uncle called Casemiro.
Yeah, I'm
available for
calm,
like
you know.
20 million. Experienced Champions League nights.
I had my washed Brazilian DM a year ago on Fabinho. I don't need another one.
So it was so nice. You have to do it twice, bro. It's calm. It's okay.
Nah, I'm good now. Honestly, there are DMs you can go out there for. I mean, there's that Ederson from Atalanta who everyone keeps
By the way,
linking
there's a
with.
team that wants to sell a DM. Arsenal really want to sell a top DM.
I'll avoid Partey, thank you very much. Not just for the injury concerns. There are other things about him which just make me not like him as a person, so I'll avoid that one. You know, Zubamendi, Ugarte. It's not like that. We don't. Is there a top well beater DM on the market? No, there ain't. But we can get a good DM on the market. 100% you can. So that's the main addition that we need. And then a lot of it's going to come down to the youngsters that we're going to trust in this season, because we are going to trust a fair few of them. And the manager, can he implement his tactics in with this squad and get the results? Because that's what it's going to come down. I don't think there'll be much business done by us this window. I think that the business that we'll be doing is...
So this is all shaping up to be like a transitional season. Do you concur? But you have win now players, i.e. Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson.
Yep.
Discuss. Trent. Discuss.
I don't like the term transitional because we've not got a transitional squad. In terms of a transitional window, that would be moving players on and bringing players in. This is mainly a consolidation window. But
to what end?
Because I think that last year, people are blowing out of proportion the end of last year and making out that was how we played for the entire season. We were a very good team up until April. And then we just shit the bed because certain South American forwards decided to find every single fucking way to miss. And then we
is that the same forward you described as more complete than Erling Haaland? That's the one, right?
Me.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. That was
Mo. Tom, do you not remember this? Do you not remember the argument we had? You said, and I quote, Darwin Núñez, Haaland might be better striker, but I'll tell you what, Darwin Núñez is far more complete.
It was I've been waiting for this for months, bro.
It was before.
Hold on.
Don't think I don't have those receipts, Thomas Little.
Hold on. My Darwin Núñez did get 13 assists last season. So where's Haaland's 13 assists? That's completeness. Anyway, but we'll ignore that for now. To be fair, my main gripe is Diaz. Anyway, if you want to bring up Diaz, we'll be mates about that because I don't like Diaz.
Shameless.
Anyway. So I don't think this squad is as far away as people make out to be. If you get a DM, I think a lot of things improve straight away because your defense gets more secure and your midfield gets more of a license to attack because they've got security behind it. That was the main problem we had last year. McAllister was doing a lot of the games in the 6. He's not a DM. When Endo came in, he was doing a job in the big games, but in the games against the Palace or low-end opposition, his lack of quality on the ball was being exposed. You add a top-class 6 or a really good 6, I think a lot of the problems that people have with the team end up getting solved due to that. And then it's just about adding quality.
Do you think you start the season playing completely differently, as in under Slot's style, or do you think he has to be kind of patient with how he brings that in? Because presumably a lot of your top players really aren't going to have any preseason, or will maybe
No,
get a game of preseason.
a lot of them are only going to end up getting 1 or 2. I think it's going to come down to I think the starting 11 that you'll see for the first couple of games will actually surprise a few people in terms of the names that are in there. I think you'll see Curtis Jones in them because he'll have played all preseason. Szoboszlai will definitely be in it because he'll have played all the preseason. I wouldn't be shocked if Quansah is the starting centre back to start the season because he's played all the preseason. You know, all these sort of things come together to have that start to the season. I don't think. I mean, I watched the highlights from our game against Preston. A lot of the style of play is still the same. The main difference is the left back inverts now, as well as the right back, which is why I need Tsimikas to fuck off because he can't do that. He can barely overlap, let alone invert.
This is very disrespectful to my Greek captain. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling very attacked.
Yeah,
right
big
now.
up Tsimikas.
Yeah, does Robertson invert that well?
No, he can't.
No, but
That's why
No.
they were supposed to be on top of this Calafiori deal. That was the guy for Arsenal. He can invert. He's good on the ball. He actually stepped up from a centre back at Bologna many times. Because,
the thing is, I like I said, I watched the.
But Michael Edwards doesn't get into transfer sagas. He doesn't get into transfer. Michael Edwards does his own thing. He doesn't.
They have Joe Gomez.
Challenge other people for it.
I mean,
oh my god, every Liverpool fan saying the same. Michael Edwards, he doesn't. We don't go under Michael Edwards into these transfer sagas. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
we only negotiate our own targets. We don't get involved.
We've got Joe Gomez who can play that role anyway, and based off the way we played against Preston, Robertson is better at the role because he's a better attacker than Tsimikas is. Do I want Robertson to start? No, because if I have to watch Robertson invert for an entire season, I will cry.
With Joe
but he's
Gomez
better than Tsimikas. You're laughing like Joe Gomez didn't have a good season last season.
It's good. But again, what's your targets then? What are the targets for Liverpool? You are treating Liverpool team with Salah last year, Van Dijk last year, Trent last year as well.
If you were to ask me, Mo, if you are
treating Liverpool as we're vibing here. We're gonna try Gomez as left back inverting.
That's what I mean. You've got win now players,
bro. It's exactly nothing, and they are treating the club as well. He has two fullback that invert.
Mo. The thing is, I can't say anything because I have no idea what the fucking club are doing because we've done nothing. The only thing we've signed is a fucking 15-year-old from Chelsea. That's all we've done. There's been no information about who we're going to get.
Wouldn't you say it's fair then that there's actually a chance of possibility that you fall out of the top 4? Because don't forget, Liverpool are prone to downfall seasons. We saw it under Klopp, who's a better manager than Slot. So who's to say that it won't even happen under?
Here comes the Man United fan to jump on the third position
because other clubs are spending. Chelsea are spending money. Spurs are spending money. Villa are
spending money.
Chelsea have spent money for 3 years and gotten worse. Chelsea don't worry me.
They haven't gotten worse because they went. They haven't gotten worse because they went from 12th to 6th last year. So they actually made a six-play jump. Villa are top 4.
If they do that again, they'll finish above first. They'll finish north.
Yeah, who do we think can get better?
But now, Baines, if you have it, it's 3 spots, which means they go up to 3rd, which means they jump Liverpool theoretically.
And where did Liverpool finish? 3rd. It's all adding up.
Oh, I love these conspiracy theories.
But it's really true. Don't forget, Liverpool haven't finished top 3 in consecutive seasons since 18-19 and 19-20 because then you finished 4th the year after 19-20, then you went back up to 2nd, then you finished.
We finished 3rd in 2020-2021.
Was it 3rd? Was it tied? Was it like tied? It was like 66 points. You finished tied anyway. Same shit. It's not much of a difference.
Hold on. We came second. Became second, then first, then 3rd.
It was tied for 3rd. It was tied for 3rd.
Then second. I don't think it was.
And then 5th. And then 5th. You finished 5th. Don't forget that. You actually finished 5th. So under Jurgen Klopp, who's a better manager with these same players, a lot of them were the same. Now you're not because I think for me, the one advantage that Liverpool had over the other clubs like the United, the Chelsea, the Spurs, stuff like that. I think financially we have more money than you. That's just a fact in terms of spending. You might have the money, but your owners, get your bread up. I always gotta say that. But the big difference was Jurgen Klopp was so much better than every other team's gaffer that it didn't matter about the money. You have not lost that main advantage of Jurgen Klopp to Arne Slot, who he could be good, but he's an unknown. Just like Chelsea's manager is unknown and Enzo Maresca. My manager, I wish he was an unknown, but I already know him way too well.
Your manager's shit.
My man,
That's
you also
how he
have
is.
you've also only beat my manager one time out of 6 times. But anyway, not the case. So yeah, I just think
It was a fucking great one time. I will happily have that
and you
one
still
time.
didn't-
over
and
and
you
over
still
again.
did-
the history of a football club.
I will
That is-
happily have that
Why
one
did you
win
bring that up?
over and over.
Why
and
did you
over
bring
again.
that up?
But guess what? Even they won that game. Who still finished higher than that season?
It doesn't
Who still-
matter. This is
Yeah, it does.
history written.
Oh no,
That's
they
great
finished
for
the
them.
None
Pumas
of
in
you
a
won
season
the
that was
league at that
irrelevant.
day. Like it didn't matter at the end.
Okay.
Do you know what? Do you know
but
what?
all
as
that-
well?
Anyway, I'm not gonna go into this. I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into
No,
this.
I'm
now.
actually
no,
glad they
it's-
finished above us that year because it led to the fucking worst campaign out of any English side in the Champions League afterwards. That year, last year,
okay,
using
and
the
last
group
season,
example.
both of us won the same amount of shit. We both won the trophy, and I actually won the bigger
Well
trophy
done.
last year. I won the
Well
FA
done.
Cup while
Well
ruining
done.
your FA Cup season, while ruining your
Mhm.
Premier League season, where we started your
You
collapse.
didn't ruin it.
And yeah, we did. I remember that Kobe
You
made me
fucking
goal,
didn't.
specifically going top bins. I remember that goal
Mhm.
very vividly. I remember Amad Diallo scoring the 120th minute of the FA
Yeah.
Cup because all that 7-0 has proven to me was since then you haven't beaten me. So all that game approval was a fluke, and that David De Gea is the worst goalkeeper that ever existed in professional football history. Other than that,
Mhm.
that's all that game has proven to me because you haven't beaten me since.
I love
I don't
I
care.
love how
won
Griggs
7-0.
Griggs
I won
refers to
7-0.
Man
I couldn't
United
give a flying fuck.
That's
as me.
great.
I love that. That's so
Bro,
funny.
7-0,
where did-
7-0 hype.
Where did United finish last season?
7th, wasn't it?
8.
Or was it 8? It was 8. It was
Okay.
8. Right,
Bro,
okay,
they were
hold on.
lucky they didn't
I'm
finish
actually
seventh.
intrigued
They
now.
were lucky
Now,
they didn't finish seventh last
Griggs.
season.
Which teams are going to jump us so we finish outside the top 5? Because top 5 is Champions League.
Spurs.
So
No,
we'll
it's
say
top 4.
No, it's not. No, why?
I
is
thought
it
it
top
was
Why
five?
are you assuming it's top 5?
because I'm assuming that Arsenal don't shit the bed in the Champions League again.
Oh,
What was
that's
that?
not
How do
bad,
we-
I
oh,
will.
Sorry.
No.
Arsenal reached the
no.
quarterfinals of the
United?
Champions League.
We got to
Yes,
talk
it was-
if
it-
United,
actually, to be
if
fair,
United
we-
hadn't been grouped and Newcastle hadn't been grouped, we'd have
forget
been
that.
fine.
Forget that, Roy. Forget that. He lost to Atalanta in the Europa League. I don't know why you're focusing on Arsenal.
Europa League
Oh.
didn't have the sway. Europa League, even if we
Didn't
got
have
to
the
the
sway.
sway,
It did.
Europa
It
League,
absolutely had this way because one of the leagues that got the coefficient was Italy. So if you beat the Italian team in the Europa League, you could have helped England's coefficient, but you
Good
lost.
point that.
So
How
don't
was
focus
on this
on
one?
Arsenal.
I didn't need to help it. I
1-0 Griggs. 1-0 Griggs on this.
Yeah,
Focus-
crazy,
I didn't
no,
need to help it.
Don't
He's on the
focus on
ropes.
our clubs. The fire is burning at home. Michael Edwards'
I
database
didn't-
hasn't updated since 2019. Microsoft got hacked on
Mm.
Friday. So did Michael Edwards' database.
Mhm.
Don't worry, bro. Because ever
Mm.
since 19, the analytics department, you had the one advantage Liverpool always had was the analytics department was better than most other clubs. But it's 2024 now. Other analytics clubs have also developed. So now when you go to transfer battles, the players that you like, other clubs like, and you don't got the pull to go toe to toe with other clubs. Same what happened with Lenny Yoro. We both got the same notice. Madrid, he was Madrid bound. You heard that? You bowed down. You said, "Daddy Madrid, let me go down. I don't want to get into battles with you." We looked at Madrid like we're gonna go
I
get
am.
this player.
You
That's
know
calm.
what, Griggs? Griggs, you've hit the nail on.
Simple as
I am so gutted. My football club didn't spend 60 million quid on an 18-year-old in the last year of his deal. I am so gutted by that.
Well,
I'm so gutted that we
what
didn't
happens when
spend
Konate
60
gets
million.
injured again? What happens when Konate gets injured again?
I play
You don't have
Kwanzaa.
Joe Mata because she left on her. Kwanzaa
I play
hype. Lenny
Kwanzaa.
Yoro's 10 times the player anyway. So it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
is he?
10
Is he? Yeah, yeah.
times wild.
Which is.
Yeah.
Well, one's regarded as the best teenage center back prospect in the world. The other one gave up a goal to Bruno Fernandes by giving him the goal on a silver platter. That's all I remember Kwanzaa doing.
One of
Other
them
than
got
that,
kicked down by Ollie fucking Watkins.
No, he didn't. They won that game
Hold
on.
on.
They won that game on a
You
punch
think
job.
the Lenny Euro? You think Lenny Euro for 60 million euros or 52 million pounds is better than having Kwanzaa on a free?
Yes, because I think Lenny Yoro is a much better player and has a higher ceiling.
But how do you know that Lenny Euro is a much better player?
Because I watched
I'm
both.
sorry,
of them.
Griggs.
He
Based
played
on
in fucking Uber Eats. He played
What do
in
you mean?
Uber Eats.
Well, Uber, by the way, the Uber Eats, which William Saliba came from, and he's the best center back in the league. That
Respect
Uber Eats.
league.
Don't bring William Saliba into this
Oh,
conversation.
respect
Don't
League.
degrade
Uh,
him.
That's where the best
Saliba
quality
had
of the
a
Premier
better
goes
season
to.
back last season. Gabriel
I'm having
Magalhaes,
fun now.
another league center back, by the way. That's another one.
calm.
Gabriel Magalhaes, who came from.
I've
the
got
same
my
club
glasses
as
on.
Lenny
I'm
Yoro.
still saying calm. Let's respect league.
We're not acting like League One is not the best league in terms of transition to Premier League football. Them in the championship. Is that what?
Hold on. So let me get this straight. And listen, this is. Let me get this straight.
I don't know why you're laughing like that. We're gonna act like League One isn't one of the best
What-
leagues to transition from.
What happened to Nicola? Okay,
I
let's have a
think
look
it.
at
I think
all
it
the
objectively
players.
is.
Actually,
I remember
it is.
reading
The
some data on
majority
it.
a lot of people that come from League One are actually good. a lot of people that actually get sent on League On are actually good.
What, like Nicholas
But
Pepe?
that doesn't justify the 6. And I'm not. Griggs,
I named center backs, by the way. You
I've
named
been,
me
I've been, I've
attackers.
been
I
doing
gave you
banter
center
shows
backs.
for a week about Man United with Lenny Oro thing on an hour. Like I've been done a lot of this. But the point is about this Man United, this Liverpool. Let's go back to Liverpool, guys. Are Liverpool dropping down? Unknown manager.
In respect
Kubo,
of position or in respect of quality?
Other like Man United. Okay, we like it or we
They're
don't
not
like
United.
it. Listen, Man United, but hold on, they're not dropping below Man United, but are Man United closing in the gap?
Well,
Are
yeah.
Chelsea closing in the gap with the signing? Are Liverpool being? And there is a massive thing that people don't understand. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp again have put the club in a bad place with the three top players having 1 year left at their contract. If you're going to them and telling them, do you want to renew your contract? They're going to say, well, but we don't know how good this guy is. He might turn out to be shit. He might turn out to be not great. Is that something that people never think about? That some of these players might think, why would I pin in a new contract if Real Madrid is on the table next season for a free with a massive signing bonus? Yes, I want to try to be loyal to Liverpool, but if it was Jurgen Klopp, yes, but this is a new guy. Anybody think like that at all? Do you think that is right, Tom, how people think? But logically speaking, that was Van Dijk might think like that. Free money next season. Salah might think the same.
I think the only guy who's thinking like that is Trent. That's the only guy who's thinking like that because that's the only one who Real Madrid are interested in. So that's why I think Trent probably.
You don't
won't
think Van
sign
Dijk would
if
want the
he's gonna
bonus of a
sign
free
midfield
move
or-
to Saudi Arabia next season? You don't think so? Or even a Barcelona or something like that? You don't think players,
You
big players, want the
mentioned
signing
Real
bonus?
Madrid. I know that Salah wants to stay, and I'm pretty sure that Van Dijk wants to stay. The one that is a problem is Trent, because Trent has Real Madrid there. So Trent probably won't sign a deal. If he's going to sign one at Liverpool, he probably won't sign a deal until the end of the season because he'll want to see what's going on. I cannot. It's hard to say what they're thinking because we don't know what business we're going to do because we haven't even started yet because the manager hasn't seen the players yet. We have 6 senior players in training at the minute. 6. The rest are on fucking holiday because they got to fucking knockout stages of fucking tournaments. So he has Tsimikas, Robertson, Soboslai, Jones, Salah, and Elliott, and Quansah. So that's 7, sorry. I'll go 7. He's got 7 of them there. Ooh. We can't even feel the full 11 of players who played regular first-team football for Liverpool last season yet. That's why we're not doing business yet. That's why all this stuff about, oh, is it going to be this, is it going to be that? I'm not jumping on it because I have no idea what the squad's even going to look like because half of them aren't even in the country. They're off in fucking Ibiza or Mallorca or Greece or fucking wherever they are on their holiday having the fucking greatest time of their lives. I can't say anything on it because I don't know. For all we know, these players will come back in pre-season, Slot sees them, goes, right, change of plans, this is what I need to do. And then everything that we thought so far goes out the window. That's why it's hard for me to say right now. I think we're definitely going to make signings. There's no way we go through a window where we don't make a signing. But we're not going to be doing any business before August. Because for the pure matter of fact, we don't get everyone back until August.
Let me do this super chat because they're answered before we move on. Tom, you know who was comfortable 3rd before finishing 11th next season? Also, remember, you were in Europa for a reason. I really don't get why Liverpool fans are comfortable 4th. Does anybody think Liverpool should
I
be
know why we were in Europa
No.
League because we were playing Fabinho, Henderson, Milner in the God's year of 2023. That is why we were in Europa League. Because we played a pensioner midfield for a whole season. Go look at where they are now. Milner's at Brighton. Henderson's at Ajax. And Fabinho's in Saudi. Ooh. We replaced them with actual midfielders who have legs and can run. And we got better. We finished 3rd last year. We were comfortably 3rd last year. I don't see a major drop-off coming to where we now finish 5th or 6th. because I don't think anything's possible, but I just don't see it happen because I think we've got too much
But
quality.
as in, like, possible enough that I could definitely see it happening. I don't.
The
my
word anything possible
prediction-
is different.
The
I don't
reason
see
why-
Arsenal or City finishing above outside top 4. It is possible, but I don't see it happening. Yeah.
My prediction would be that Liverpool get top 5, but I could very easily a bad start to the season because you don't really know how it is that you want to play because you haven't changed your style yet. But Slot also doesn't actually know how to kind of perform the Klopp system at that level. So you have a bad start. to the season.
I don't think Slot's going to try and play Klopp's way. I think Slot's just going to try and play his way.
Okay, but
and
then you're
make
either going to
tweaks
be,
when they're
but
needed.
then you're going to have to do that with players that were there during preseason who are objectively not that high quality. So you do that. I'm saying I could see a bad start to the season, then Slot. He will become under pressure if you have a bad. If you're 7th, 8th after the first 5 or 6 games, he'll start being under a little bit of pressure. I could see it happening. Don't think it will. But
I think for me, I still think Liverpool finish 3rd, and I think the main reason for that is because there is still brilliant quality there. We've discussed those players, but also maybe more importantly, the clubs which could take their position. There is a lot of unknowns about them, like Aston Villa, for example. How will they deal with Champions League football? Chelsea is still very unknown quality, new manager. They're still bringing new players. Even Spurs as well, still haven't quite figured out what they are. United, which I think we'll discuss again, still a big unknown quantity. So I think that Liverpool's quality overall will still get them at 3rd, to be honest. So they are relatively fortunate that no other team is like there to take them, if that makes sense.
I reckon Spurs end up 3rd.
Maybe.
I actually have another theory about this, which is very strange, actually. But we'll talk. It's related to Manchester United, actually. But Ryan here, big up Ryan for the super chat, for the massive super chat. He's saying, Tom, you absolutely walled. What was the tweet yesterday? Bro, even ketchup and mustard are more reliable than your source. We're finished as a club. No signing this summer. 7th place. Get those bums, Edward, and he's out. Okay, Ryan.
7th is mental.
7th is
come on, that's
But
not going to happen.
Ryan, this is crazy.
Even as Liverpool's #1 hater, I can't say that.
Even Blue Glasses Nobbins wouldn't say that.
It's never happening, right? You're not finishing 7th.
Bro, Arne Slot would have to be like really bad.
Bro,
for that to happen, like really bad.
it will have to be like a Graham Potter level for Chelsea for them to reach that level.
Yeah, you have to get like massive
And the
injuries,
difference
I
is
think.
they have players that actually, even if Arne Slot is bad, they will take it upon themselves to actually carry the team.
Yeah, never court.
Like,
It's like
It's like people forget that we have actual world-class players in our team.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's Salah, there's Trent, there's Alisson, there's
I
Van
think you have like
Dijk.
5 players that will literally carry the team, even if Arne Slot is a bum. You know, Salah, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, McAllister will literally carry the team. If Arne Slot is just completely a bum, they will carry the team, and that's half the team, though.
I've watched Mo Salah play in the worst Liverpool team for a number of years and still get me 30 goals.
Every club that loses a legendary manager typically struggles a year after. It's really rare that you kind of just pick up where you left off under the legendary manager. So I think I think that's the biggest concern for me for Liverpool. It's not squad wise because your squad is even good enough other than getting a number 6. You have center back depth, you have full back depth. You could probably obviously.
Klopp's also not being replaced by a Premier League proven manager. You know, this is a manager coming into a completely new league. He's never experienced before.
Bald Dutchman, man.
He's bald though, so
very tricky.
He's not that bad.
Blaze
is saying, Griggs, you know, Fofana was also the best young centre back from France.
Yeah, and Fofana has been good in the Premier League when he's fit.
Yeah, but Disasi and Badiashile were meant to be good as well, weren't they? It's
I like Badiashile. I like Badiashile.
Disasi's bad. Disasi's bad. I'm not gonna lie, he's bad.
But Disasi was never the best guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And Disasi was never.
When you look at the best center backs in France, when they go to the Premier League, they all thrive. Most of them.
In fairness, do you think Lenior is going to start this season? Because Saliba needed 3 loan spells before he came back and started.
I mean, I think Saliba's a different case. I think Saliba was ready to play for Arsenal by the second season that he got signed. In my opinion, I just think Arteta maybe wanted to like give him a little bit more time, and the situation was unstable at the club, so you kind of just didn't want to bring him in. But I think he was always ready. But in terms of Lenny Yoro, I don't think he should be the guaranteed starter. I don't think you should ever guarantee an 18-year-old a starting spot. We'll see if we get the licked or not. Obviously, we got a bid rejected today, I believe. I still think we'll get him. and then you just let him play. I think Lenny Yoro is good enough where let's say mid-season, he kind of just takes a starting spot for his own, that kind of spot, and you just can't deny him that. But we'll see. I just look at his profile. I look obviously just a preseason game, but just the small details that he had was already an improvement on what we had last year. I'd say the only downgrade from obviously losing Varane is the box defending, because Varane's one of the best box defenders I've ever seen in my life. But in terms of channel defending, the recovery pace, the ball, the ability to play with the ball, the switches that I kept seeing, I haven't seen my center back switch the ball since 2019. I'm not even joking. It's literally since Harry Maguire. That's the last time I saw a center back switch the ball in my football club. So I just look at the metrics and stuff like that. I don't think he'll be like elite yet. Obviously, he might have a rougher season. You have to adjust. I'm just looking at him from 2 years from now, what the ceiling can be, and I look at a player that can be a top 2-3 center back in the league based on his potential. That's what he get. That's the aura, the vibes that he gives me, because I look at him and I see a baby Rio Ferdinand. And don't forget how good Rio Ferdinand was when he was like 20 years old. There's a reason why United made him the highest paid center back in the world. So I just think, for me, Lenny Yoro gives me that vibes when I look at him. But well, I'm sure Mo, we're going to talk about
getting the David Moyes 2013 window vibes from Liverpool. I can't remember that window. That's the Man United window.
We literally just signed Mara Fellaini.
No, Fergie left that squad in a shambles. Klopp's left a very strong squad.
Yeah, it's completely different. Tarun Mohan is saying, if Slot wants to play his style, he must already have a couple of transfer targets in mind. Major ones will probably be later, but small ones can be gotten in the meanwhile. No excuses. I don't know, but
how is he going to right? So I'll put it this way: no Liverpool fan thought Slot was going to play the way he did in that first preseason game, but he did. So that straight away, he's going to need to see certain players to know if they can fit into the roles that he wants. And even then, it doesn't matter if Slot has a player in mind. He doesn't get to pick the players. He gets to pick the positions that he thinks he needs. He doesn't get to pick the players. And that meeting will probably happen in about a week or two after another couple preseason games, when he's got more of an understanding and he's got more players back.
After
again, you're mentioning Calafiori. I don't know if we would even in for him.
And that's the problem. But anyway, that's the problem.
I think Matt Swifer was the one that they missed out on most. I'm not gonna lie. Played for Slot.
I don't know what is going to happen, but I still think that Liverpool need to make moves. The season isn't the season less than a month away.
Yeah,
the season starts.
I know that people think, yes, the window doesn't shut until end of August. By end of August, you might have already played 2 games, and you might be like 3-4 points. Like, you might not have had your time, and the new signings need to adjust. This is why I think the people that get the signings early are the ones that are doing the business right. I know that some signings are hard, like the Calafiori deal is just tough because of the Basel situation. But Arsenal are trying to get this. I haven't seen like the Ederson thing. We have seen Liverpool, okay, Ederson, and then died, done, over. Even in Italy, by the way. I went to the Calcio and I went to the
situation is.
We don't know, but that's the whole point, Tom. Well, I'm not criticizing you as a fan. I'm just saying at Liverpool now, there's an unknown manager. We don't know the target. You link to someone and then it goes quiet. You aren't linked with your main targets, and it's just getting a little bit slower and slower and slower. That's the point, Tom.
Because we don't know what positions. Because there is a simple explanation. We don't know what positions we need yet because the manager hasn't.
We actually know here. We know, but it doesn't matter. Liverpool have Matip gone. You need a center back. Do you agree? It doesn't matter his style of play, Tom. Is that right or wrong? Hold on, Tom. Do Liverpool need a center back or not, Tom? Just it's a yes or no.
No.
You do or you do not?
No, because we've got one in Vandenberg.
Okay, so Liverpool don't need a center back. Do you need a DM?
If you keep Vandenberg, you don't. I think you do, and I think
Definitely.
that is a position that will be addressed.
Do you need another forward?
Not if you have everyone at the club.
So if you keep the 5, you do need another forward, in your opinion.
No, because
unless he sees Nunes and Diaz and think, yes, I need to replace him. So you think so?
I
want your opinion, Tom.
If a forward goes, we will replace them. In my opinion, Diaz should have been sold, and we should have got in Gordon. But that's not happening.
The only position you think that Liverpool need at the current moment is a DM. That's without him seeing the squad, without anything. A DM. That's all what you think.
The only position that we need to buy without selling anyone is a DM.
Okay. Okay, then. It's good to know your opinion about this. That you think Liverpool are one side. This only need one. Liverpool need only one signing. Okay.
No,
Good. Okay.
I don't think we only need one, but right now there is only room for one. Because I can't buy a left back unless I sell Tsimikas, and I can't buy a winger unless I sell Diaz.
Is it
They are the
concerning
positions that I would want. But
is it concerning
get
that you know you need a 6? Everyone knows you need a 6. Slot will know the profile of 6 that he wants, and you've not done that bit of business yet. Because if you're then waiting until the end of mid to the end of August to figure out the other positions that you need, it makes it more complicated if you're also still trying to do the 6 at that point, which you could have already done potentially.
I get the concern, but my whole point is I don't know what DM profile we're after. Slot might not know. And it's also a case of some of the players that we wanted might have been at international tournaments and not been a chance to get a deal done yet. There is a bit of especially if when we end up getting this DM, it's a guy that we could have got a month ago. I will sit there and go, well, why didn't you get it done earlier type thing? But until that happens, I can't really mention it because we don't know what we're after. We don't know what the plan is. It's annoying as a fan to be kind of in the dark. 100% it is. But there's also got to be an element of trust. When Edwards and his team came back in, everyone celebrated because we had them all back in. And it was this, it was a big thing. You have to trust them to be good at their job and do their job. You can't just get on them the moment you're not getting what you want. This was how this window was always going to play out. If people thought it was going to be different, then in a nice possible way, they're idiots. The manager has to look at everything first because he's the one who coaches them. It would be stupid of us to go out, buy a player, then we get to training and Slot goes, I didn't actually need him. I would have rather that money get spent elsewhere. I would rather we invested in this position or that position. Yeah. Slot needs to say that.
Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think Liverpool are slow in the market. We know that you need a DM. You negotiated with a DM. But anyway, listen, there's not a lot of time to talk about Manchester United. I just wanted to get Griggs' opinion about the Man United window at the current moment and Jadon Sancho going. Would you like to keep Jadon Sancho or would you like to sell him?
I'm not. If you're offering 40 mil, au revoir. Adios.
You got to move on, haven't you?
Bro, 45 mil is way too good of a price to pass up because that makes up almost like over half of the money that we paid for him.
Yes.
Because we paid 72. So 45. So I think for me that'd be a good price. And then I have my replacements that I would want, someone that we've been linked with, and Desiree Doué. I think for me that'd be a perfect central replacement if we can jump the queue for him.
Isn't that the guy that Bayern Munich are linked to? Yeah,
but they're also trying to go for Xavi Simons, and they're gonna try to get one or the other. So while Bayern are nitpicking, and they don't, and their guy said that they need to sell to buy. So if we can sell Sancho quickly to PSG, because I'm not gonna lie, us and PSG are probably doing some shady ass business. I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing too much PSG United to get connection these last like week or so, and we all know who's behind it too, certain Portuguese agent. But yeah, I think United, obviously, I think we've had a strong start to the window. This is what I expected from the new board, Omar Barada. I'm sure Nobbins knows a lot about him, and he's lived up to every single word that he promised in his letter so far. Then Ashworth dropped his letter today. He's living up to it. I just look at us. I think Xerxes, we moved quickly. We're able to amortize, get the deal done without even having to trigger the release clause to kind of lower how much we pay every year for them. So that was good. I like Xerxes' profile. I think he fits Ten Hag system more than Højlund does in terms of getting that target man that's more of like a Martial type striker. Lenny Yoro, for me, is one of the best signings you'll see this summer in terms of the potential and what it meant for United specifically. Because for me, Lenny Yoro wasn't just about the player. It was kind of United not making that statement that they can't get one of the better young players in the world in terms of prospects. We don't really go for those players because we're viewed as a talent killing organization for the past 10 years. To be able to attract Lenny Yoro with whatever happened, I don't care. I don't care what's going on Twitter talking about gun was pointed to his head, all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, he's here. He was playing with a smile on Saturday, and he looked great. So I think for me, that's an amazing signing. I don't care that we pay 60 mil. When you're trying to go get some of the best young prospects in the world, you're going to have to pay. Madrid paid 60 mil for Endrick when he hadn't even played a professional match of football yet for Palmeiras. Chelsea paid 60 mil for Esteban Willian, and he's not even at their football club yet. You pay the premium for those kind of players, especially with knowing Lenny Yoro. If he didn't go to United this season, next season he was going to Real Madrid on a free. And once you go to Real Madrid, you're never getting that player again. Let's be real. Until they're washed in their 30s and stuff like that, you don't steal players from Real Madrid unless they want them to leave. It's as simple as that. We've seen that. And now in terms of links, I saw PSG also want Bruno Fernandes today.
It's not happening. We know that.
To be fair though, we also want Xavi Simon. We want Xavi Simons. So there is a potential.
Do you think Xavi Simons is better than Bruno Fernandes in the midfield?
No, I don't think so. But I also don't want United to play with it. I don't want United to play with a 10 anymore. And I view Xavi Simons as a wing fielder. I think there's a way that United can go 4-4-2 next year in terms of like on the ball and stuff like that.
You play Ugarte and Kubo in the middle.
And Ugarte ain't getting signed. I keep praying to my Lord and Savior every single day about that. I ain't signing Ugarte. Those links are fugazi in my eyes. I view today I saw Yusuf Fofana from Monaco. That's the more. Me and Ineos have a conversation every day on Twitter. I at them every day. I got linked with Rabio. I added them. Like, yo, Ineos, what's going on here? The next day we got distance. So they're listening to me. Yusuf Fofana for me would be a better player. I like him.
Point about Man United, which is I wanted to just before we end the show, I wanted just to get to Nobin's point. Thing about Man United is that the unknown thing is that Erik Ten Hag, there is a possibility he just does what he did the first season, and there is a possibility he does worse than what he did the second season. Does anybody think that if Erik Ten Hag
that's impossible? That's impossible. There is no way United can be worse than last season. Like there is definitely no way.
Lisandro Martinez gets injured again, and you're good.
We have Lenny Yoro now, but there's generally no way United can get worse than last season. We finished with a negative goal difference.
This is crazy.
But we finished with
Yoro now. It's crazy, bro.
What do you mean? Well, my whole center back room was injured last year. By the way, the odds of that happening again are slim to none. It is nearly impossible. We're gonna get another fullback that's gonna replace Wan-Bissaka. That's automatically an upgrade. Up top, you have Xerxes and Højlund. You don't have Højlund and no one else. You have two strikers now because Martial is no longer here. Alma Diallo is going to be a prominent feature in the first team now. That's already an automatic upgrade on Anthony and Garnacho on the right-hand side. Marcus Rashford can't have a worse season than last year because he had the worst season of his career. And the odds of that happening again with a Joshua Xerxes, which is the exact striker that benefits Rashford that we've seen with Martial, so he'll have a better season. United are definitely a better team than last season. We've
Theoretically,
it's all theory.
Lisandro Martinez gets injured, and they're gonna let me just give you a scenario that's very plausible, by the way. Lisandro Martinez gets injured, Erik Ten Hag caves, he doesn't play the progressive football, and things go to shit, and you're defending, and you aren't defending well, and just Man United have the same season as last season.
Well, no, but now we have another.
That's a very plausible situation, and we've seen it happen last season.
Okay, and I just said we have now a center back that plays more Ten Hag style when if Alicia gets injured.
And that's even more crazy to me that you're saying that the one that is going to replace Lisandro Martinez into the play is an 18 years old that is coming from the French league to play in the Premier League.
No, we're acting like this is an 18-year-old that's never played professional football, by the way. This kid was in team of the
one season, didn't he?
And he made team of the season in a top 5 league in world football.
He didn't make top season. He made team of the season in FIFA because people like to play FIFA and they like to have it. I actually Googled this. He didn't make the official team of the season. He made FIFA team of the season. Griggs, literally go Google it. Griggs. He literally made EA team of the season when people opened packs and people voted for him because they want a quick defender from the French league and a French to partner with others. I played. I forgot the name. I played for years. This is why. Anyway, he's good. I'm not knocking him down. I'm not knocking him down. He's good. He's good. Griggs, he is good. But for you to say that to replace Lisandro Martinez, now we have Lenny Yoro. I think it's crazy.
I said if Licha goes down, we now have a center back that can also play that. Also plays the front-footed. Last year when Licha went down, we did not have a center back that's able to play front-footed as a defender, the aggressive style. We now have a Lenny Yoro to counter to prepare in that instance. We're also going to get another center back, potentially a Matthias de Ligt, potentially a Jared Brantwaite, two center backs that also know how to play in a high line, specifically a de Ligt who's played for Erik Ten Hag before. We're going to get another fullback. Midfield. We're going to get a midfielder eventually who, no matter who we get, is an upgrade on Casemiro because the guy can't run to save his life anymore anyway. And we're also changing the system from last year because we're no longer doing the 4-1-4-1. We're playing the 4-2-3-1 with a pivot, so the gaps have closed. The same way United played the last 5 to 6 matches of the season, where they looked much more cohesive as a unit, we are not going to play. That's why I say it is impossible for United to be worse than last season because there is upgrades all over the pitch. Amad Diallo is a better attacker in every single metric of football that you can possibly think of over Anthony Dos Santos, over Alejandro Garnacho. Joshua Zirkzee is a Ten Hag striker, which Højlund is not. And we have all seen Marcus Rashford. So you want to talk about theories? Every single person here has seen Marcus Rashford play with the target man 9, whether it's Wu Weghorst, whether it's Anthony Martial, and he has put up 15-plus goal seasons with every single time. So that's not a theory. That's a fact. I'm not saying
sorry. So if you're playing 4-2-3, if you're playing 4-2-3, so who's playing as the? So you are playing a 10.
Yes,
Who's
we're
play?
not playing a 10. It's going to be Bruno.
At the current moment with Bruno, yes, they have to.
So in that case,
be benched.
so then Xerxes replacing Højlund. Then, if you're talking about Rashford with Xerxes,
yes, I think it's going to be kind of like a Xerxes dropping.
I can't hear what you're saying. But
Oh yeah, I thought it was just me.
No. It's his
I don't
mic.
know.
Can't hear you, Griggs. I don't know.
Well,
I like the idea for the,
I just want to educate Mo on the fact that Yoro didn't
Oh
actually
my
get a
God.
team of the season card on FIFA.
Yeah, go ahead.
so he didn't get a team of the season card on FIFA.
He did.
Well,
It's actually in
No,
EA
he didn't.
Sports.
He was actually no, he didn't. He was actually in the official team of the season, not the EA team. Of the
I
season.
literally
Thank you very much.
Googled it, bro.
Thank you very much.
I literally Googled it. It says
Shit.
Tadibo and someone else, 23-24.
should have asked you.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe send me the link. Maybe I read something else. I went to the league official website. Maybe.
Nah, Lenny Yoro doesn't have a single special card on FIFA this year, which maybe
Okay,
is
so
even
maybe
more
it's-
damning. Never even got a team of the week. Terrible.
Hold on.
Hype. I don't give a
The
shit
team,
what EA
the team of the
says.
season he was included in was the trophies UNFP. So that's like their version of the PFA.
So the proper one.
He was in
The
there.
one I
the
looked at is
PFA's
different.
team of the season.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm
I
wrong
like the
then.
Euro signing.
I'm
It's
wrong.
fun.
I'm okay to
Xerxes,
be wrong. It's fine.
Xerxes, I don't know anything about him outside of, I've never watched him, but I've been told that he's more of like a link-up striker, which, as Greg was saying, is what Rashford prefers. He has struggled with Højlund last season, so on the surface that's an upgrade. Yeah, and I echo the Diallo shouts. I only saw him for like a couple games last season, but I was like, well, he's clearly better than Anthony, and it's not even close. So I agree. There are lots of unknowns. I don't know what the midfield partnership is going to be. If it is Mainu, Ugarte, that's a car crash waiting to happen. So it can't be that. United need to bring in another body or someone else or whatever. But yeah, I expect United to be better. I don't know how much better, because as we have discussed, there are a lot of unknowns, as there are with every club, to be fair. I could see them finishing like 5th, I think top 4 is a push, but I could see 5th as like the ceiling for me.
If I get 5th in the Europa League and the football looks better, that's a calm season for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
If you
improvement,
get
isn't it?
5th, to be honest with you, if you get 5th and you win Europa League, that's an achievement for Ten Hag.
That's what I'm saying.
After the season they had last year.
But that's still crazy how the standards changed, because when they finished 3rd under Ten Hag, the expectations then were to challenge for the title and have a good Champions League run. And then 2 years later, you're saying if they finish 5th and win a Europa League, that's...
I am basing
No,
it
but
on
that was
Ten Hag
that was
being there.
unrealistic expectations though for us to compete for the league after we finished 3rd, because we overachieved finishing 3rd in the first place. We never had a good enough squad to compete with City or Arsenal for the league. Anyway, and we got worse in terms of that last season. So I think Ten Hag should have the pressure of finishing like a 3rd, because it's 3 years in now and he spent over like probably 600-700 mil. So the expectation should be that he should be getting 80+ points in my opinion. I just personally, in terms of my personal expectations or what I think will happen, I don't think the squad is good enough to get 80+ points. That will have to have Marcus Rashford play at a level that he did 2 years ago. That will mean Xerxes will have to hit the ground running, which is rare for a striker in the Premier League. You're gonna have an adjustment period unless your name is Erling Haaland and you're literally the best striker in the world. I haven't seen as a full starter. I have all the praise for him in the world, but I haven't seen him start for a full season at United yet. So it is what it is.
The only thing that's unknown about United, if you get a DM, I think you look okay. It's Erik ten Hag. That's it. To be honest with you,
I just want to see like a
Tactically-
proper style of play that makes sense. That's what I want to see from United.
Yeah,
Like,
I like what I saw on Saturday. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the midfield was much more compact. The midfielders together looked in the same line. They weren't like eons apart from each other. I saw a couple underlaps, which everyone knows is the best thing you could help for your fullbacks in terms of that. And that wasn't even our full starting team. Lenny Euro looked good next to Johnny Evans. Imagine next to Lisandro Martinez, who's a top 3 ball playing center back in the world. We played it with an 18-year-old left back. Luke Shaw's going to be back. Hopefully Malacia is actually alive this year and not was MIA. That'd also be nice. Wan-Bissaka is going to get upgraded, whether it's with today we got linked with the kid from Monaco, Vanderson, whether it's with the Turkish guy, Kardioglu, whether for me, my top target is someone like Kyle Walker-Peters because he can play both sides. I just think United are linked to a lot of players and a lot of quality players where it's impossible to get worse. We're not going to finish top 4. That will need Ten Hag to do the magic that he did the first year, which he can't do. To be fair, he's had a season of finishing top 4, but I think the Prem is too much more competitive than it was back then. I think Newcastle, Villa have gotten better, Chelsea have gotten better, Spurs have gotten better, Liverpool have gotten better since then. So that'll be tough. But I think for me, the best United you see is when they're underestimated. That's when United are at their best in the past 5-6 years. When we're underestimated, we play at our best. Once the expectations hit is when we falter. Like last season, we had the expectations, like Corey just mentioned, compete with City and Arsenal. We were never ready for that, so we faltered. Now, no one expects us to even finish top 5, top 6. People think we could replicate an 8th place finish. That's when we're underestimated.
Okay, it's the last super chat before we end the show. We've discussed Arsenal for too long and Liverpool. Breaking news. Fenway Sports Group returned to the negotiation table to buy
Bordeaux.
FC.
The club. The club.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're not signing any- you're not
We're gonna
signing-
buy- We're not
Bordeaux.
going to buy a DM. We're
Signing
going
a
to buy a
club
new
up tomorrow.
club.
Yeah.
Maybe you buy their DM though, so that'll be an upgrade. There you go.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're in the French
Liverpool are
third
in to
division.
buy
I think
another
their
one.
DM is a bit shit.
So Martinelli
that
was in
League-
Brazil's 3rd division, and he played
League
in the
Trois.
Premier League. Bro, why are you disrespecting Bill? You never know. He could be a baller. No one's ever seen him yet. You never know. Don't judge.
Liverpool are trying to pull a Manchester City thing. They get players from, then they loan them and multi-club ownership. Anyway,
Yeah, get
I
your
want
own
to thank you
ideas,
so
guys.
much, everybody, for being. Huh?
Get your own ideas, Liverpool. God,
Yeah.
so unoriginal.
I have a feeling that Liverpool are in the. This is the era after.
Banter era
This
coming.
is your. Yeah, banter era coming. I don't know
Day
why I
after
have this
tomorrow.
feeling.
We had this era will not be worse than the 2010s.
I was a line once.
Well, you won a Champions
We'll
League
see
in
how
the
it goes.
2010s, so yeah.
I'm on about early 2010s when I had to watch John Joe Shelby play false 9.
I also got to watch Luis
Charlie
Suarez.
Adams. Charlie Adams is a bowler, bro.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Love everyone. I've just heard the most outlandish thing I'm going to hear all day. So love everyone.
Don't forget Glenn Johnson, top right back.
In a bit.
Broski, Charlie Adams, Flanagan at right back. The next Cafu there.
TIFO had one good game against City, to be fair. But yeah.
We'll see you guys soon. This was absolutely an amazing show. It kind of got rational, irrational, whatever. But I want to thank Rory, of course. Rory Talks Football, 6:30 UK time, 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. He will be live on his channel. His channel's in the description, right? Michael Griggs is going live in a bit, right? Nobbins is going to drop the video soon on Savio and Tom Little. Going to do, and also Dan's channel is in the description as well. He couldn't be here today. He will be here probably next one on Friday. We'll see you guys soon. We actually reached about 440 likes. We can get to 500 likes live. And we'll see you guys soon. And we're out of here, people.